are BMs unaliving their partners. This is a very serious issue. And I think I want to, the reason why I've been talking about it recently a lot more is just because I feel like it's something that is being like, not saying nobody talks about it because there are some people that talk about it, but I still believe it's being overlooked. This is the violence against BLK women and also other races of women as well that are in relationships with BLK men has increased. And, when we think about violence increasing, then we have to think there's got to be some reason for the increase. And I would love to know what you guys think it is. So I'm going to wait until I get a little bit more people in here and we can talk about it. I'm waiting for more people to join. I just wanted to say, I think that, we're used to seeing these stories and, we just ignore it or we just become desensitized to exactly what's happening. Like if you look at the story on the top, the man at the top left, he unalived a clerk at a convenience store that he was banned from. And when police caught up to him and went to his apartment, they found his 8 months pregnant, girlfriend decomposing underneath a sheet. And if you look at the top right, there was a man on TikTok that spent his time pandering to women, which is why I say you cannot trust these black men that get online and act like they understand your plight or as a black woman or they're gearing their material. Any man that gears his material speaking points directly towards women and women alone, there's a problem there and he can't be trusted. But this man unalived his Latina girlfriend. And this to let you know that it's not just a problem with like that BLK women aren't doing something, they're doing something wrong or bad that's causing BLK men's behavior. It's not the women. If you look at the article down there to the bottom left, then you see a woman that had 10 children, 10 children. And the man that she had 9 out of the 10 children with, pewed her at least 12 times, stalked her and did that to her as she was coming home. Pewed her 12 times, knowing that he would not only be caught and arrested, but knowing also that he would take his 9 children and have them not have a parent. Like, if you have that many kids, there's not a guarantee that someone else will decide to take that many children on. So the fact that this man was so selfish that this woman decided after spending 20 years with him of being abused by him, physically abused, and decided that she wanted to live life on her own terms at 39. The fact that this man decided to unalive her with no thought, no regard or care for their children or his own future, his own life is crazy. And then if you look at the bottom right, there's a man right there that unalived his 23-year-old girlfriend by pewing her with a shot pew. Okay? And then had the nerve to lie and say that he thought that she was somebody else that was in the house, which is proven to be a lie. So, these are just 4 stories, right? 4 stories recently, these past couple days, of black men unaliving their partners and their girlfriends. That's the reason why I want to talk about it. Because, whenever we have these discussions, men will always come up and say,
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not really happening like that. Men aren't really doing that. Black men really aren't unaliving women like that.
They are. And what's crazy is that I don't know if anybody is old enough to remember, but back in the day, it used to be white tea men that were doing a lot of the unaliving of their wives, their girlfriends, also their families, like they were known as family annihilators. And I know that at least amongst the black people that I knew, and this was like when I was young, they would always say like, hey, yeah, you can't trust those white tea men because those the ones that they gonna kill you. I mean, they're gonna unalive you. They're gonna unalive you. They're not gonna just take being broken up or divorced. They're gonna unalive you. And then for that to be the thing, but black men don't do that. Da da da. For that dynamic to change in, you know, such a short period of time, I would say people were saying that to me, saying that around me when I was a teenager. So at least 20 years has passed since I know for a fact that black people were saying that black men were not the ones that would be a family annihilator or unalive the women. It was white demon. So when you think about it, that black men are fastly approaching basically the same level that was accused of other demographics back in the day of unaliving their partners, their wives, their girlfriends, their baby mamas, whatever. What do y'all think the problem is? I know what the problem is, but what do y'all think the problem is? Because we cannot, and that's why it was like yesterday I had a live and I was talking about, red pill increasing, violence against women. And, there was a man that came up and said, oh, do you have any source material? Do you have any proof to back that up? Well, I guess you don't. What? I don't think that anyone, you can look anywhere and see that violence against the women at the hands of black men has increased over the past few decades. For sure. And it's easy to fact check these things because an unaliving is very easy to research. And it's not difficult to do that. And it's not like and I would say in the majority of these cases, it's clear to see these men are being framed by the white tea man. It's not, oh my goodness, this is another innocent black man lost in the prison system, in the penal system. Oh no, they didn't do it. These men did it. They are doing it. They are unaliving these women. So I don't know if whoever's listening to me right now, I don't know if you're tired. If you're tired of every time you open your phone, you see another story somewhere of a black man that has lost control and unalived a woman. And, a lot of times people will, instead of trying to put the blame where it should be, which is on the black men that are making these decisions, they'll try to say, oh, it's because of the mother. She was there. It's because of the single mother. No, it is not. It is because of the culture that is curated and that exists for black men. The idea that black men think, the entitlement that they have, the arrogance that they have, this idea that they are these kings that have a right to tell women what to do and control women because they have a P word in between their legs. That's the reason why these things are happening. Because when these women say, hey, you know what? I'm tired of you knocking my head between the washer and dryer. I can't take it anymore. Then they're doing this. And you can say that it's the older men. It's not. It's the younger men as well. There's another story of a 14-year-old boy that was upset that his so-called girlfriend didn't want to be here with him anymore. And he snuck in her bedroom window and unalived her. This is happening across all age demographics of black males. And I really feel like, why isn't anyone talking about it enough the way that it should be talked about? And then my thing is that, you know, like I said, it needs to be talked about. It needs to be discussed. And, you know, any of these men that you see in these pictures up here, as you can see, their eyes are dead, lifeless, you know, and I think that, you know, not trying to, I don't know if this will make sense to y'all, but you know, I've noticed that anytime you look at a man that has unalived a woman or unalived somebody, if you look into his eyes, he has those dead, lifeless, soulless eyes. And I think that windows are the windows, eyes are the windows to the soul. And I really do believe that you can see the evilness in these men's eyes, and especially the man at the bottom left, you know? And I just want more black women to, you know, be armed and maybe be proactive in arming themselves in their situations if a man is threatening them or if a man has put their hands on them. I want any woman that's listening to this to think, not to think that, oh, he just put his hands on me, he won't unalive me. Oh, if he put his hands on you, he can unalive you. Period. In my opinion, I'm going to take it up a notch. If he calls you, okay, have you ever seen these like TikToks of these women where they record the emotional abuse that they're receiving from their partners? I done seen so many videos of black men, and they've been also with other races of women as well, not just black women, and how they talk to them like, hey, B, you know, I don't know what you talk about. You can get out. Or I'm doing this and that for you. Or no, I'm not gonna get out. You gonna let me stay here. Or you gonna do this and that third. Or give me some money. All of these things, you know, the way they speak to these women. If a man speaks to you like you are a dog or like you are just a stranger on the street, he can easily unalive you too. He can easily put you in the ground as well. If he can call you the B word, if he can call you a 304, if he's always talking about, oh, black women this, black women that, I don't like, he can easily unalive you because he doesn't feel like you have any value or that you're not even a human being. If he's the type of man that always talks about women in a place of servitude, oh, a woman need to be doing this, a woman needs to be doing that to serve a man, that means that he does not look at you as a human being. And if you don't look at someone as human, you can do anything to them and not feel that bad about it. And I think that's a huge problem that we're not talking about. This current dynamic that we have of demonizing black women, villainizing black women, dehumanizing black women, making it seem like black women have nothing positive to offer. They're the cause of every bad thing that has happened in the world. All of those things, regardless, contribute to violence against women. So anytime you see a black male content creator and he does a whole video on why Meg Thee Stallion is a dirty liar and why she's a 304, or he does another live about why black women are the cause of everything that's wrong in the black community instead of the men that are actually doing the things, all of those things encourage acts like this to occur right here. That's what it encourages. Violence against black women. And there's no way you're going to tell me that we don't have a problem when every single solitary day there are multiple black women being unalived by black men. And, you know, you have this whole thing where black men try to act like it's even. Oh, well, what about the things that black women are doing to us? What about the hard life we have from black women? Oh, we're in the same situation. No, you're not. No, you are not. You're not in this situation. Black women aren't doing this to y'all. Y'all aren't opening y'all phones up every day and seeing an instance where a black woman unalived a black man. Not saying that it never happens, but it's definitely not happening like this. Because women don't even commit unalivings on any high statistical level. They don't. Men have it in the bag 90% plus on unalivings of anybody. Let me see what y'all said in the comments. Beautiful says you're right. A man who dehumanizes women could become a emderus, because I don't know if I could say that word, emderus. So I'll just say emderus psychopath. Toya in her crown says they all have empty soulless eyes. Yes, they do. Hey, how you doing, Tanitra? Yes, Nayusi 14 is crazy. Anyway, like I said, I really do think that this is an important thing to talk about. Very important, because I've noticed that anytime we have these discussions, right? Anytime we have these discussions when it comes to black women and being unalived, black men are always making all these excuses. All of these excuses why that these things are happening. Or they'll act like it's not happening at all.
Oh, no. Those are just, it doesn't happen that often.
Let me tell you something. These instances that I just showed you guys these just recently happened. I heard about all of these in the last week. So, and I can think of so many more right now, but I couldn't fit all of them on the page. So I could only fit in 4 to put here for y'all to see. And I made sure that I wanted to use one also with a BOK man that was with a non-black woman. Because y'all make it seem like it's just BOK women that if the circumstance presents itself that a black man will unalive. No, he will unalive other races of women too. I remember watching this. It was one of those Oxygen shows about women that survived like domestic violence, like the man tried to unalive them. And I remember it was this white tea woman. She was getting beat by this black man and she was tired of it. And she said that she never stood up to him because she was afraid of him. And so she told him that, hey, I'm tired of being abused by you. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to take it from you anymore. This man snuck in, busted into her house, doused her with kerosene, and set her on fire. And the only reason why she survived that is because as she was on fire, she managed to open the door and make it outside and was burning on the lawn. And somebody ended up, like calling the police and stuff. And she ended up surviving. And she was talking about how his eyes turned like black and demonic and stuff like that. And he clearly wanted her to be unalived. He didn't want her to live. So these things are not just happening to black women at all. And like I said, when things are happening, when things are going on, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. You know what I'm saying? And, I like somebody just hit, it's a dude that just hit laugh emojis in the chat. His name is called Money to Blue. And he has a picture of it looks like Benjamin Franklin there as a profile. I just blocked this person, but clearly that's a man and he thinks this is funny. And this is the reason why it annoys me when black men or men in general, because this doesn't just apply to black men, this part where they talk about, hey, why would you guys choose the bear? They're so offended. I don't know why you would be offended when anytime somebody, you have an opportunity to show humanity or empathy for women, you don't. Why in the world would I want to be around somebody that can't even show empathy towards a woman that I'm saying has been set on fire? Like, what? And this is exactly why, I don't trust any men. And, for the people that may be listening, because there are a lot of black women that when I have these conversations and discussions, and I'm not trying to take the spotlight off of black women, but I'll just say the reason why, black men are black women's main predators is because black women still engage with black men. But I will tell you this, in my looking up of femicide, there are so many cases of white tea women, of Asian women, of Hispanic women, Indian women, I guess if I didn't say that already, being unalived by their partners. Like as I was looking up black femicide cases today, I saw a story of a white T man that strangled his wife to he unalived her. She was pregnant with their child, and he called the police and said that see that she OD'd on something, even though the lady never took any type of like illegal substances. And then when the police got to her, checked her out, she had deep strangulation marks. And they arrested this man, but he got out on $1 million bond. And he's out right now. This white T man that just did that, he just did that like last month. And he's already out on bond. And he unalived his wife. So I think a scarier layer is that when it comes to white T men, they are going to be treated easy by the justice system. You know what I'm saying? Like they could do something to you and get away with it or get out. Talking, what was your name? The King. What the Kingsman? What did you say?
I said, what did they do that led to this situation?
Okay, well, let me say this. Let me ask you a question. Men unalive men the most. Black men unalive other black men at a high extreme rate. What are y'all doing when y'all get unalived? Do you know somebody that's been
I,
unalived? Do you
I
have
didn't hear
any
what you
family
said.
members that have been unalived? That are men?
Yeah,
Okay, so what were they doing? Why are they
shit.
dirt? Why are they dirt and worm food right now? Was it they fault?
Damn, that's how you feel.
Yeah, that's how I feel because you being disrespectful. So tell
I
me what your
wasn't,
worm food friends and
but
family,
but
why
I
they in the
wasn't,
dirt right
but
now?
I wasn't being
No, tell me
disrespectful.
why.
You
No,
feel me?
answer my question.
They
Why
was
are
they
your
was living
friends,
the street
why
life
are your male friends and why are your male family in the dirt taking
Be,
dirt naps, getting
because
ate up by
the
worms?
the same reason why them bitches was because they was
Oh,
living the
okay. I
street
know
life.
same reason why your mother's one. All right. She should have never birthed you. Now buy a trash bucket. All right. Anyway, as I was saying, like, and these are the type of men that you stay away from. These are the type of men that you avoid. Like you hear his voice, like you can clearly tell that's an uneducated man. That's a man with several felonies, which is the reason why the only associates of black men that he knows are men that were so-called living in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the type of men that you avoid. Losers, bums, ghetto hood boogers that have nothing to do in life. They living in somebody's Section 8 home and they don't have no money to contribute to nothing. And they somewhere preying on a black woman, drinking up her child's Capri Suns and fruit snacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, an absolute trash. The King's man, yeah, when have you been arrested? When's the last time you've been arrested? When's the last time? And he does sound like he's got 3 teeth. Totally sounds like he has 3 teeth. For sure. For sure. For sure. Sound like he don't floss either. Ridiculous. Let me block this man. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, and this type of negativity, this type of like the fact that he would ask what these women did when I'm sitting here talking about the fact that all of these men were, at least the majority of these men were mad that women wanted to leave and didn't want to undergo a violence anymore. DV is crazy. I would say the majority of women that are unalived because they don't want to endure DV anymore from these men, and these men get mad. You know what I'm saying? And that the reason why I was disrespectful to him like that is because he was being disrespectful in the comments by sitting there and asking me what did the women do. Like, just disgusting. And you know, just disgraceful, just absolutely disgraceful. But let me just say, when you hear the fact that there are men out here walking around that you see, that you pass in the store, you pass in the gas station, that literally have no empathy for women at all, they do not care. they could see a woman unalived. And I it's so much of a lack of empathy from black men towards black women. But when something happens to them, they want all of the sympathy and empathy in the world. So when they have some cop unalives them or something happens to them, they want black women to stand up and say their name and speak about them and do all of this, that, and the third. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want. And you know what? I think that it's a perfect example of, I said this in a video that I put on my YouTube today, but I talked about Telvin Osborne, the black man that got unalived, that he said was his blessing, his blonde blessing. He got unalived by his white tea baby mama. And how he was on social media saying that he would rather sleep with a dog than sleep with a black woman. But his buck broken brother really thought that black women owed his brother something. Black women should have been willing to say his name and speak out for him and say that he needed justice and all this other things. That's the entitlement that I'm talking about. They can hate you and still feel like you owe them something. You know what I'm saying? Which is truly insane to me. It's insane. And I just want black women to really understand the seriousness of the situation that you're in. If a man threatens your life, threatens to unalive you, he ain't playing. I don't care if you've been with him 5 years or 10 years and now you just tired of him, but all the things that he's doing, he's cheating, he's putting his hands on you, whatever, and you tired. And he said he's not playing with you. There's far too many black men actually going through with this. So you need to make sure that you're armed. You need to make sure that you're watching your back. You need to make sure that you're prepared to do what it takes to preserve your own life. For real. Because these men are not out here playing at all. They're not. And, it's crazy because there's a reason that these things are happening. And, and it's not because there'll be black women that'll tell me like, hey, this has been happening. This has been happening. And I'm not saying that it hasn't happened. But what I'm saying is it is a definite increase. And there's a reason for that. And I think this whole smear campaign on black women, even further dehumanizing black women is a piece of it. It may not be everything, but it's a piece of the puzzle. Proud black woman says, baby, I done pulled out mine on 2 bandits. They walked away. I thought, okay, all right. That's what's up. I've had to do that too. Yeah. I'm even gonna say what I'm gonna say on here, but I've had to protect myself as well. To this like black man that was road raging and attempted to approach my car like he was about to do something. I didn't even really have to do that. I just had it on my lap and I just was like, if you come any closer, you going upstairs. Do you know that he went and got back in his car and sped off? And I guess the way I was looking, he already knew what that meant. Because where I live, you can easily have a pew-pew with no problem. So I said, yeah, if you come closer, this is gonna be the last time you come close to anybody. Please don't do it. Please don't make me do it to you. Because I will do it to you. Anyway, yeah, I really think that this is an important topic to talk about because, like I said, I'm tired. And it actually really hurts me. And it actually really disturbs my spirit. And like, I'll be depressed all day hearing about all of these stories of black women losing their lives. Like, truthfully, it's crazy. And to see black women that make pick-me content, to see black women that will make excuses for this behavior and try to find some way to put it on a black woman is wild to me, which is once again the reason why I put up a Latina on here as well. The top right One is a Latina woman that was unalived by her boyfriend, whatever, that would spend his time pandering to women on TikTok. Which is spend his time pandering to women on TikTok. Which is why black women that sit there and follow these black men that you know nothing about, and you actually believe they care about black women and they care about women, and you actually believe they care about black women and they care about women, I promise you, I feel like you're goofy, in my opinion. I don't think any black woman should be following any black men on here. I don't. But true, they say something that you heard a black woman say a million times. So why you not following the black woman instead? That million times. So why you not following the black woman instead? That's talking that stuff, because she's talking it and she also has to live it. When have men as a collective ever showed you that they are empathetic towards the plight of women? Never. Um, I'm gonna delete any dudes that I see here in the chat. I'm gonna delete y'all if y'all are reporting. If you got a blank profile and I can't tell, I'm gonna block you too, because they said that the live is skipping, and that means that y'all are reporting. And the fact that y'all will be reporting because y'all don't want to hear about black women is crazy. So let me go through here and see. Yeah, I'm gonna block you too. Sorry. If you're a woman, I'm sorry. You just getting blocked. I can't help you. Let me go and see. Yep, I'm sorry, I gotta block y'all. Let me know. Let me know if y'all see anybody else. If y'all could like the live, I think the live will help. Yeah, I think if y'all like the live, it will help. Y'all let me know if it's still skipping. I'm a block. Oh, go ahead, pretty intellectual. You can go ahead, sis.
How you doing?
Hey.
Oh, gosh. These topics, like, I think, there's a lot of things on this app I can be like really objective about and just really, sometimes even facetious, but every single time, like, I have to talk about the subject of like how black women are literally just being targeted in our own communities, and by our own men, um, and then have to go around and hear the not all men conversation as a retort to it, right? It just lets me know. I think it's lonely, but it's exhausting. It lets me know that I don't think these men were ever our protectors, and it's really good that we're getting to a point where we have started to figure that out for ourselves, right? Because you even think about in the recent case with the young 19-year-old black woman who was taken apart by that YT man on their Tinder date. The response from black men to that, right? There's no level. There's no amount of soft voice, which is what you hear people try to do and pull online. There's no amount of, oh my gosh, I'm a submissive woman. There's no amount of kings you can say. There is no amount of calling other women mammies, hussies, Jezebels, hyenas, whatever you want to call another black woman, to try to stake your place in a black man's life to where he will feel it necessary to protect you at all costs. There's no amount. When it comes to black women, in the eyes of like protecting us, it truly is, I'm every woman. It doesn't matter. You will never be protected. I said this yesterday, like, you just won't. And everyone's crying and sliding down the walls. There's recently been a lot of breakups happening on this app where people have realized red pill men don't like them, right? And they're crying and, oh, I thought you got, no. How long does it take? Do you not see what is happening in our community? Do you not see the lack of response to black women being unalived, taken apart limb by limb, things like that, diabolical stuff happening to black women in the black community? Do y'all not see the silence, the deafening silence from black men when it comes to that? Why do you think they'd protect you on this app? Why do you think they'd protect you in anything that's non-lethal? They won't do it. There will always be a reason to blame that woman. Always. Always. And because we're the only one they can punch down on, that's the reason why they're unaliving us. We are the punching bag from them being abused by society, right? Like, that's just what it is. Like, you know, you have no power in society, so you punch down on the ones most vulnerable in your own community. And I think the sooner Black women stop expecting protection, the sooner we just stop, like, we would be better off for it.
All right. Thank you for that. Pretty intellectual. Let me go over here to Proud Black Woman. Go ahead, sis. If you had something to say, let me see. I'll send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can't. Hey.
Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh God, I love your page so much. I just it's an honor. It's always an honor to come up on your panel. I just she literally just said everything in a nutshell. I would just like to add Black women. I thought we were past the point of even expecting protection from Black men. And I can see on this app just from videos that Black women just are not learning. The main group of people that is more likely to hurt you are the men who look like you. I don't understand what Black women are not understanding about that. So for Black women to still be thinking that Black men are going to protect you when they're the main ones who are trying to harm you is just crazy to me at this point. We have got to get past that. We've got to get past the thought of expecting the men in our community to come together as a collective. They are not going to. I've accepted this years ago. I just made a comment about how, and let me just say both of those situations that I was in was at a Walmart. Mind you, one of the Walmarts that I was at was a predominantly white community. And guess who was harassing me in that Walmart? A Black man. And when I said, no, I am not interested, he continued to argue. Because the vast majority of Black males feel entitled to Black women anyway. So when you turn them down, now they want to show you. Now they want to show you their aggressiveness. Now they want to exert their power over you. So in that moment, I got one hand. I'm about to call the police. He dared me. I said, cool, I'm finna call the police. So I did. This is another thing, Black women, when you're in these situations, call the police. I put the police on speaker. The moment they asked me to describe him, and I went to describe him as a 6'3" Black man, and then I had my hand on my pouch, which I keep on my waist. He knew what was in there because I went to open it and made a comment. If you pull it out, you better use it. You damn right I'm going to use it. I'm calling the police and I'm going to use it if you continue to come close to me. When I said 6'3" Black man, when they asked me, ma'am, can you describe him? 6'3" Black man, dark skin, all Black with a red mask on and a black hat. Do y'all know this dude disappeared into thin air? When I say this 6'3" man disappeared.
Wow.
And mind
In
you,
the moment of being your predator, he wanted you to protect him.
mind you, I'm over here by the bakery in Walmart. So it's the bakery people watching. It's the white tea man over here watching, the white tea lady right here. This was a predominantly white place. And the one Black man that was in there was harassing me and thought that I wasn't gonna call the police and thought that I didn't have nothing. And if you think I'm finna wait for the police to come, I'm not. The point I'm making is, Black women, whether you want to accept this or not, you're going to have to get to the point where you get what you need to protect yourself. And I'm not talking about mace and pepper spray. Yes, we need that. But we are going to have to get to the point where you are comfortable with going to the range and getting licensed to carry, especially if you are in a state where you can. It will get there, whether you want to accept that or not. What I have learned about men, but Black men and specifically, and then I'll land my point. With Black men, you're going to have to show them. All that talking, all that, oh, I'm going to call the police. You're going to have to actually call the police. It's going to get there because they know, for the most part, Black women will not call the police. I just had somebody come on my page 2 days ago, and she admitted that. She said, as a black woman, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared to call the police on black men. And I was like, ma'am, you're gonna have to learn how to unlearn that. You're gonna have to learn. We have got to get out of this. I don't want nothing to happen to the black men. Black men don't care about what happens to you. This man, this 6'3", I'm 5'4". This 6'3" man was willing to walk up on me. If you think I'm finna wait for a man 6'3" to walk up on me and wait and see what he finna do, I'm not. I'm finna put him on his back. And that's gonna be the end of the conversation. And my other hand gonna be on the phone calling the police. And when the cameras show, because we all know in Walmart, it's cameras all over the place. The camera's gonna show the fact that I walked away, the fact that I backed up, and this big old tall dude was coming up on me. You're gonna have to show them, black women. They don't think that you'll do it. And the 2 times that I almost did it, they walked away when they realized. The first time I did it was 3 years ago at another Walmart. And when I cocked the gun, whatever, and he heard the noise.
Make sure you say pew pew. We love TikTok Shop.
So when I cocked it and he heard the noise, y'all, he realized, oh, she's not playing, because this dude was at my car. This is another black man that followed me to my car. Like, these dudes do not care. You are going to have to get the courage. They're not playing. They're showing you who they are. They're not afraid of black women because they know most black women ain't gonna do nothing until they come across one like me that's about that life. Then black men will see. I don't know if y'all saw that video, and then I'll stop here. There was a video of a black woman on here that literally her video got taken down, but they put it back up. And she was like, hey, we gonna have to learn how to, SHOOT. I don't know if y'all saw that. And, the video went viral, and it's all these comments where it's like black women are like, yes, I know. We're going to have to get there. And that's not to say that there's no other group of men who is possible of harming you. Every race of man is capable of that. We know that already. When I speak, I'm talking about men. I don't care what color you are, but we got to be honest. There is a group of men who is more likely to, and it is black men. And I'm not afraid to say that out loud. The more black women ignore that, the worse it's going to get. The easier, the best thing that black women can do is accept that. Stop pretending like you don't see it. Stop acting like you don't see it. Some of y'all got family members right now that got men, black dudes on probation, or they got restraining orders against your baby daddies right now. Stop acting like you don't see that. This is the sooner we accept that black men are our biggest threat as a collective, the better off we're gonna be as black women. And you can exclude the black men that you know, that you love and care about. We're not talking about them. But I hear black women all the time say, I'm scared to call the police because I got a black son. What does your black son have to do with this random black man? That's not your son, sis. That's not your son. This is a random man that you don't know. Them 2 dudes, I did not know them. That ain't got nothing to do with my black brothers and my black dad and the black men that I know. I will put you on your back if you present yourself as a harm to me. There's no question about that for me. So y'all got to learn how to separate the black men in your family. And then some of y'all got black men in your family who have harmed you. What you mean? You know how many women come on my page and talk about how they uncles have touched them, they brothers have fought them. So we talking about any black man that is willing to hurt you. I don't care if you related to him. Call the police. And if you are in a state where you can carry like I am, get armed. It's not going to change, black women, the more you stay delusional about this. It will change when you do your part. And stop expecting God to come down here and fix this. He's showing you what it is. Do your part. Get protection. Ain't nobody finna save us. Y'all, some of y'all got daughters. Save your daughters. So I'll leave it at that. Thank y'all for listening. I love your platform.
Thank you so much, sis. And I appreciate everything that you said. And I definitely understand where you're coming from for sure. And I wanted to respond real quick before I block this man, AB, Israel, whatever your name is. The fact that the first comment that you would make and come in here and say is leave black men alone, and not even to address what we're talking about black men unaliving women, their partners, abusing women, and all of these things, just lets me know right there that you like a trash human being that doesn't have the ability to to recognize the seriousness of the issue. And I think that that's another problem that black men have, like this super ego, this super entitlement, this super, if you care about the image of black men, then what you should do is have your ashy behind somewhere around dudes telling them to stop deleting black women every 2 seconds. You should be somewhere improving the image of black men so that they're not known as the most unruly, the most disrespectful to their women, the most disloyal. Like that, you would be better served being places right there than being here talking to black women. Like, and I think I would venture to say that a lot of black women have already left y'all alone. You know what I'm saying? And once again, it's always y'all ones that's ashy that look like you would tell a woman that, hey, that's homeless or she's getting out of a bad relationship or she's struggling. Say, oh yeah, you could come stay with me. I'll help. Strings attached. And then when she wake up at 2 a.m. and you standing over her bed with your cock out, like you look like that type of Negro. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those fake you want to help, but you not really want to help. So please get your little ashy behind out of here. I'm about to just block you because I really don't care about nothing you talk about. So you can go ahead and go. Let me go down here to T Scorpio. Go ahead, T Scorpio. And hey, how you doing, sis?
Hey, good morning, ladies. What's going on? I'm sorry, I was too busy typing that dude Israel, that his doctrine from the IUIC, and I heard Nathaniel. He's an Israelite. They did that dude right there is an Israelite, and I heard Nathaniel, they leader, said that they don't care if a man beats you. You are not to divorce your husband because according to the Most High and according to the Bible, that is your husband until basically if to you do you part. So when they sit there, so when you hear an Israelite talking about, no, we love our women. No, they don't. No, they don't. No, they don't. Moving on. Yes, I'm 100% on the side of the ladies saying to carry a pew pew and to make sure that you are safe at all times. And I really want to address when I be hearing black women say like, what about our sons? What about our fathers? What about our brothers? Yeah, and the funny thing about that is that they be knowing that they sons and they brothers and they fathers are harmful to women, but they like to pretend that they're not. We all know there's a family member right now in our family right now that belongs to jail that nobody calls the cops on. Well, at least I do. I'm not afraid to call 911 on black men. If the white T man is the one going to put you in check, call them, because the more you don't call the police on them and let them know that you value your life, they will not value your life. If anyone's supposed to make sure that they're 100% safe at all times, is you. So to sit there and believe that somebody else care about you living more than you is absurd and is obscene. And don't get wrapped up in this so-called black unity, this black love, black community. Because if there was black love and black community, this would have been this should have been considered to be treason against the black community. To unalive a black woman, to unalive a black child, or to harm them, that should be considered treason against in our community. If this is a black government, that's treason. So to sit there and say, well, you can't put a black man in jail. You put a black man in jail. You are a traitor as well to the black community, and you don't care about black women, and you don't care about black children. That's the thing that'd be mind-boggling me with these women, because if I'm gonna keep it a buck, ladies, even though these black men are doing the most unalivement, the main people that we do this, one of our biggest threat next to them is a mammy, is a pick-me. Because every time I've never came across a black man that's a gremlin amongst us that they never had a woman protecting them. There's always a woman protecting these gremlins. They all want to sit there and say, well, he's a good boy. No, he's a good man. Oh, no, he just got trouble. Oh, no, listen, you don't understand. He don't have a father in his life. There's always some mammy protecting them. And that's that's also, like I said, our biggest threat. So ladies, if you come across a woman that believes that, oh, just because a black man is a black man, you shouldn't call the cops on them, or you can't pew pew them, you can't you can't defend yourself against them in any kind, you got to cut that woman off as well. That is not a friend. That's the type of woman that if, God forbid, you have a child and she's around and that child is around her man or her brother or her father or her grandfather, her uncle, and he harmed that little girl, she would turn around and say that little girl is a little girl's fault. And those are dangerous women, because those are the type of women that would put you in harm's way for the sake of a black man because he's a man. So I just want to throw that out there as well. Yes, black men are harmful, but I never came across a degenerate black man without a degenerate woman fighting for him.
I mean, that's definitely true. I see them all the time on this app, and they make me sick. And y'all, T, especially you already know how I feel about them. Let me go over here to Coy. Go ahead, Coy. Let me send you a request to turn your mic on just in case you can.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I just wanted to share a story that my mother told me, and another story I just found out about from my dad's childhood as well. And both of these happened. My parents are a little bit older. My dad is recently departed, maybe 4 years ago, and it's just upsetting to know that this isn't something new. This is something that's been going on for decades. Both of these stories happened about in the 1950s. My mother has like a friend that this happened to, like a friend of the family, and then one of her, I want to say her aunts that this happened to. They were married, they were with terrible men, the men were beating on them, the women decided to leave or wanted a divorce. The next thing you knew, the men literally set the house on fire and burnt these women. One of them she found out, and I want to say this is later on in the 70s because my mom used to be a nurse. She was a burn practitioner, and the woman came in as a patient. She recognized the name. The woman was severely burnt. I don't think she lived from her injuries. Later on, I knew about this story from when my dad was little, and his older sister always talked about how she rescued him and saved his life and what have you. And he had talked about this house fire, but he never told me how it happened. I just found out a couple of weeks ago what happened was my grandmother had this boyfriend that was very, very abusive to her. And for whatever reason, he kept finding a way to come around. He would come to his job, her job. She even had a boss that was a white tea man that used to tell her, well, I know you can't do anything because there's no laws about this now, unfortunately, but I'm a white man and I can do something about it and they won't punish me. That's how much like this was going on. She was showing up to work with bruised face, all kinds of things. So one day she finally got, I guess they got back in contact. My aunt, she's a little bit older, so she was home with her husband, and the man stopped by. He wanted to talk to my grandmother. They let him in the house because my uncle was there with her. He got the nerve to try to grab a butcher knife in the kitchen and cut my grandmother. So my uncle held him up against the refrigerator until the police got there. Maybe a few days later, after he got out of jail, he waited until my dad's family was asleep and the house was like sitting up kind of like on stilts. He snuck under that house and set it on fire. That's why it happened. And my aunt was brave enough to run back inside and grab my dad, who was sleeping. I think he was about 8 years old. So this is like sometime in the 50s. So this just goes to show that there's a lot of things in our history that we don't know about when it comes to domestic violence. A lot of our parents, a lot of our grandparents, our aunts, great grandparents aren't telling us that these things happen, but they have happened back then. We're just a little bit more advanced because there are some laws, but that protection is still not there. So this is something that's been going on for generations and decades that needs to be addressed and it needs to be talked about. And it's crazy that I'm hearing about this from two different sides of my family around the same time frame and pretty much like the same results. Either somebody got burnt, somebody got hurt, or somebody got really scared by arson. That's something to
Okay.
think about.
All right, Coy. I appreciate you. And yeah, it's just disgusting to hear all these stories, but these black men swear that these are isolated incidents when every last black woman that you talk to has some type of story of something. I'll go up here to Pretty Intellectual. Go ahead, Pretty Intellectual. You held up your hand, sis. You had something to say? Let me unmute you in case you can't. You there?
Yes, I just had to put something up real quick. Going to the topic of fire, right? This is a story that was brought to my attention that happened in the Congo in February, and we never heard of it. I mean, you may have. I never did. Um, this has nothing to do with the white tea man. This has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with slavery. It has to do with misogyny, which has long existed before white tea people knew they were white, right? 100. So this was a prison that was this was a prison. I'm sorry, I'm like stuttering. This was a prison that was housed for just women and their children, so they could have their children with them if they were imprisoned in the Congo. A big group of rebel black men came and broke into the prison and essayed the children, the mothers, and then lit it on fire, to which 100 women and children expired. Y'all, this hate goes deep, eons long. And for a long time, we've been told that black men and black women experience the same thing. And it was Jimmy Lynch and I'm sorry, not Jimmy, Willie Lynch that told us that we should hate each other and da da da. No. Black men have hated black women for eons. Okay, men have hated women for eons. There's no group that we can point to that have ever loved their women. I don't care what anyone says. Power dynamics make things look different, but understand this has been happening, right? And this happened unspoken about. You remember when the 70,000 men happened and the response to that was, well, those are white men. Wasn't that in Europe? That's not black men. Yeah, so these ones, let's bring this example in here. These were black men, African men, who had nothing to do with slavery or nothing like that, right? And if anyone tries to come up with any other excuse as to, oh, those are the men over there, no. Y'all said that what has caused these issues in our community has been slavery and yada, yada, yada. But you have failed to acknowledge that hatred of black women has persisted throughout slavery. Black women were getting raped by the master, persisted throughout slavery. Black women were getting raped by the master and by their brothers. Okay? It was happening trifold for us, our children, right? So there was no point that we were ever really protected.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, all right. Pretty intellectual. I actually wanted to comment on what you said because this is something that also happens when you talk about black femicide. Sometimes other black people across the diaspora will turn around and say like, hey, this is just a black American issue. It's a black American issue. It's only black American men that do these things to black women over here. It doesn't happen with us. That's a complete and utter lie. The stats are prove y'all to be liars when y'all say things like that. This type of disrespect, this type of abuse, this type of violence, this type of rape and assault, and all of these things happen in all of these other countries and parts of the world across the diaspora. It's happening everywhere to black women. And I think that the more other, black women across the diaspora would, start living in reality and understand that and stop trying to put on a facade, the better off we will all be. Because I remember seeing, like I said, there have been black women across the diaspora that will say these things quite often. And I remember there was it was like a African man. He was like a celebrity, but he was like a singer or something like that. And he was doing this interview with this black woman. Well, she was also, I think they were Nigerian, if I'm not mistaken. And she was talking about how, he needed to come home. He's been on tour for a long time. And because Nigeria has the best looking women, the most beautiful women. And he was just gleeful and happy to tell her that no, Nigeria doesn't. Nigeria doesn't have the most beautiful black women. He starts talking about white women with big booties and how, Nigerian men need to travel and go places because black women aren't the only ones with booties and how these other women are so much better. He was so excited and so happy to tell her that and to uplift another group of women over his own. So this type of pathology and psychosis that you see in black American men is present in all of them. And I think that the more The more black women get and be honest with each other, the more you, because if you don't think there's a problem, there's no way to protect yourself from it. If you think that it's not that big a deal, there's no way to protect yourself from it. And just like, I think in the comments, it was like a man that was down here named Guardian Angel or something like that, that was talking about explaining the context and talking about this was Rwandan rebel forces and stuff, when Pretty Intellectual was talking about the men that did all of that and set the place on fire with those women and girls there and raped them and did all of that. It's like, are you dumb? Are you goofy? It doesn't matter what the context is. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that it was black men attacking black women and black girls, like that happens all the time everywhere across the world. And that's what I mean. It's like this deep-seated need they have to try to rationalize something that cannot be rationalized. Like, if it's not you, it's not you, cool. But you sitting there trying to make it seem as if it's not a problem. We're trying to add context to something that no context can be added to is disgusting. And it's tone deaf, because if somebody unalived the black man that you knew and they were trying to say, well, wait a minute, let me give you context. It wasn't the KKK. It wasn't this. It was a man that was working over there selling French fries. Like, you wouldn't try to hear it. You would think that was disrespectful. And that's exactly why I don't trust none of y'all. And I'm disgusted by all of y'all. If I don't know you personally in my life, in my real life, and haven't seen you in many different circumstances, then I don't trust you. I don't trust none of these weird black dudes that get on here and talk about, oh yeah, I understand the black woman plight. Oh, I understand. I don't trust none of y'all. Half the time y'all got white wives, or the other time is y'all secretly behind the scenes don't really like black women, or number three, it's a cash grab and your black wife told you to do it because even she knows that black women, so many black women are so stupid that they still want to trust and believe in y'all. It's normally those three, but it's nothing else outside of that. Or you have the men that come out and say, oh, I used to be so bad, but now I've realized that the way I've been acting towards black women is not right. And they got a whole history of doing horrible things to black women. Like, I don't trust none of them at all. And I think that black women would be better served if you treat black men the way you treat white people, which is, I distrust you until I can find out for sure if you're on the level. And if I can't ever find that you're on the level, you get no trust from me at all. Because you leading with trust is crazy. It's crazy in this day and age when there's so many black women that are not making it out alive. Period. You know what I'm saying? And it's really just that simple. But I'm gonna go ahead and add two more people up here. Supervillain and the person that I was just talking to. I'm not gonna be nice, so I don't even know why you really requested up. For real, because this is a very serious issue and I'm tired of it. And it's easy to talk about context when it's not you that's at the hands. If the black women are somewhere stalking you and unaliving you and beating the brakes off you because you don't want to be with them no more. Black women are not doing that on any notable statistical level. And then anytime I say those things, it'll be a black man and say, well, what about that one time when that black woman? Okay, cool. That's one time versus a million times that y'all have done. So it's not even a point. It's pointless to bring it up. So I just, like I said, I'm really tired of y'all. I really am. And I'm also tired of y'all being in spaces where nobody asks you to be in. Nobody asks you to bring your behind in a space with women talking about something that affects them directly for you to give somebody to try to explain it to them, for you to mansplain anything. Mansplain it to your daddy. Mansplain it to your son. Mansplain it to the other ashy Negroes that you know. Don't nobody need you to explain nothing to me about nothing. And I think this man right here has DM'd me and emailed me multiple times, which is weird. But I never really respond to him because why would I? What do I look like talking to you about matters that affect black women? Like, unless you have a vagina, leave me alone. Go ahead, supervillain.
Thank you, Trig. What's up, family? First, let me do some housekeeping. Y'all tap the screen. Let's get Trig to the likes that she deserves. It's free. Tap, tap, tap up the screen. I got a mouthful. I'm going to try not to ramble, Trig. You know how I can get, especially about this topic. But I first want to say I came up here because shout out to Pretty Intellectual. I heard something and I said, wait a minute, is that my shit? I've been on this app trying to tell black women stop excusing black men's degenerate behavior because of white supremacy. These men have been degenerate before white people knew that they were white. They have practiced misogyny before white supremacy was a thing. So stop letting slavery be an excuse. Stop letting white supremacy be an excuse. I say that, and it's always about the message to me, not necessarily the messenger. But in this case, because people like me, I'm going to pull you in here too, T, my bad. People like T, people like Triggered have been spreading messages, and because they come off not of politically correct or being or practicing what's it called respectability politics, we have been shushed, we have been labeled. One of my very very favorite creators have been spreading an important message, but because she was labeled turf, she was run off by the same women that we are trying to save. I'm going to explain something to y'all. I'm going to get to the point. It's because, spoiler alert, these men committing a lot of these offenses, they don't like women. They do not like women. They are fighting an internal battle with their sexuality. They are DL. And just because they're not coming out does not mean they're not of the community. But a lot of y'all are committing treason because y'all will advocate for the very men who are unaliving you so hard because they're in a community. Now, this is of my volition. This has nothing to do with Trig. This is supervillain saying this. Spoiler alert. This is supervillain saying this. These men don't like y'all. The men y'all are complaining about do not like women. Stop at, when I say all men, I mean all men. That is straight men, bi men, men who identify as women, men who don't identify as anything. It is absolutely all men, and when I say that, I mean it. I'm saying that now to let you know supervillain said it, because just like everything else I've said for the past couple of years, oh, it's going to be pushback, turf, robophobic now, but in 2 years it's going to be okay to say. But y'all forget the people who told y'all that in the first place. Y'all forget the people y'all run off or y'all don't come support their live when they've been saying the message for a long time until it's too late. T also mentioned something. Men do subjugate women, but unfortunately, and this is the lesson that hurt me the most being in this space, just being in my feminist journey, it will be another woman that looks just like me that's going to be our downfall. This is why when I say I'm not a girl's girl and I get the pushback, I'm okay with it. I have to practice discernment because just like it said, a lot of these victims were assisted by a pick-me, was assisted by somebody that looked just like another woman that got attacked. These are the things that we need to consider. We love to be advocates. We love to be politically correct. We love to do this, that. No, I'm not one of them. I'm for me and the people that's like me and who want to be safe. A lot of y'all are supporting communities that are harming y'all. A lot of y'all think because a man is not feminine or is not attracted to you sexually, he's not dangerous. Misogyny is a practice that doesn't always include violence, doesn't always include romantic relationship, but it's always, always harmful to women. I just wanted to come up here and say that because number one, the messengers are silenced because of respectability politics. Y'all are having respectability politics and women and girls are unaliving every day and y'all go to bed fine. Y'all don't toss and turn. But let us say something about a man. It's FBI, court of police, and we need to play fair. We need to respect politics. Absolutely not. Girls, children in general, women are unaliving every single day. People don't even believe the statistics when Trig runs the statistics down. How many times have we been here, Trig, and you run the black femicide statistics? And they say they don't believe it. And then what happens? A nigga not come on a panel and threatens one of our lives. In 4K. Y'all, I'm gonna calm down because this issue is so triggering for me, but I have to let you know, it's not numbers. When Trig reads these numbers, it's not just a black print on a white piece of paper. That's somebody's sister, wife, cousin, auntie. I'm gonna end with an antidotal.
I think
I'm sorry.
to speak to what you said, supervillain, I think what we have to do as black women is that black women are constantly devalued and black women undergo a brainwashing process. Now, of course, some black women unpack that, or maybe they might have been raised around a group of people that really instilled like self-esteem in them. But I think that it's almost like how a black man is way more, he's more easily able to unalive a man that looks like him than to go to the white T man and attempt anything, because he's scared, he's been beat down, he's cowardly, all of these other things, where he feels like the life of a black man is worth less. Now, whether he says that out loud, that is what his actions display to the world, that he feels that way, which is the reason why George Zimmerman's walking around, but a million men that haven't even done half the thing that black men have no problem taking them out, right? I think what happens with black women is that black women are, told constantly, like we think about, the introduction of like gangster rap and stuff like that, how like that was in the late 80s, where the music was, black women are bees, black women are 304s. The only thing that black women have worth and value is what is in between their legs. But once we get that, you can get away. You're basically nothing but a hoe for us, and that's it. You don't have any. We don't want to talk to you. We don't hear your voice. And so many songs that would say, "Don't talk to me. Do what I want you to do and get out," and all of these different disgusting things. And I think that all of that and the uplifting of white tea women above black women, which if you look at documentaries, that's been happening since the 50s, the 60s, and 70s. Black men have been buck broken. So this isn't any type of new thing where they were also degrading black women. So many black women were questioning like, hey, why don't these black men like us? Why don't they love us? We love them. We think they're beautiful. We think their dark skin is beautiful. We think their hair is beautiful. But they say that the same things that they have on us is ugly. We don't know what to do. I've seen so many heartbroken documentaries of women back then saying those things. It hurt me. So I will say that I think that mentality that black women have, and putting a lower value on themselves, just the way that black men put a lower value on themselves, I think that's the reason why you will have more black women be upset at, something like Money Long saying what she said about black women, which she was wrong with her making it like black women were the enemy when black women have supported her. Maybe there's a small amount of black women that are trolling her, or maybe they're bots, but most black women have supported Money Long, right? But the reason why black women will have a visceral reaction to Money Long doing that, I've seen so many black women saying, hey, you know what? We're going to ban Money Long. I'm deleting her music. I'm never supporting her again. Get lost. But then they can go ahead and make an excuse for somebody like Jason Lee, the G-man that has like the little show or whatever. Like how he can say that women don't do women well. A man needs to be a woman better. He can be a woman better than a woman. And black women had no problem with that. Let that man just go. Let that man just say it and keep it pushing. Still watching his stuff, still everything. I didn't see any smoke for that man. And I see black women having plenty of smoke for black men. But if you're a certain demographic, black women be like, cool, you can say whatever you want to. And I think that right there is also a mental brainwashing that has occurred with black women. And we have to unpack that as well. But like I said, I don't know when it will be unpacked. You know what I'm saying? And this isn't to hate on any demographics or whatever, y'all want to say. But I'll just say
12, so that is 6:10, which is Tuesday.
Hold on, I think she might have responded. I think she might have requested it by mistake. But yeah, that's all I'm saying. Hopefully I didn't offend anyone, but even if I did, there's nothing that I can do. It's true and it's real and it's obvious and it's clearly there. And if you don't agree with me, I don't know what to say, because I can guarantee you, if a black woman say half of certain things, y'all would be really mad at her. Y'all be trying to cancel her. But let me move forward to T Scorpio. Go ahead, T.
Oh yeah, thank you. And just to piggyback with like what Supervillain is saying, yeah, we don't have the luxury to have respectability politics. We don't have the luxury as black women because we're the most unalive out here. We are, what do you like to say, Trigger? We are the smallest amount per percentage. How you say it again? But we the most unalive. What should you be saying? How you say it? Trigger? Trigger. Oh, she went out.
Sorry about that. No, I'm here. I'm sorry. What did you say?
No, what you be saying? Like you saying like we the most unalive, but we the smallest percentage of the
Oh,
female
yeah.
population.
Like black women, we make up 10% of the female population, 10%, but yet we make up 59 to 60% of all the unalivings of women. That's a
And
crazy stat.
that is a crazy stack, and this is why I said, ladies, we don't have that luxury. We don't have the luxury to be spreading love to every type of to every type of group of people. We don't have that luxury because staying alive is the priority. We have to stay alive at all costs. And that means judging men harshly. Men are very much aware that we are conditioned to have sympathy, to have empathy, to be guided by our emotions. But you cannot afford to do that anymore because it will cost you your life. And just like what my girl Supervillain be saying, we don't trust no type of man. Me and her are on the same page with that. We don't care if you're a man that like other men, you can still be dangerous. We don't care that you're a man that like to put on a dress, you can still be dangerous. Any type of male with an XY chromosome, especially growing up in this patriarchal society with toxic masculinity and also toxic femininity, we are in danger of them. And then this is why me and Supervillain keep bringing up, like, when we talk about like the G thing. I'm not going to expound too much on it because we got to protect the lives at all costs, because this is a serious situation. Is that we are being misguided to believe that just because a man is feminine, that he is talking nice to us, that he is deemed to be safe, and that will always be your downfall. That will be your downfall as a woman, always believing that just because a man seems nice to you, that he is safe. And I would never, ever, ever say promote anything like that. Not even my husband. Even though I could say all day he is safe to me, but he could still be harmful to another woman.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I just think that we as black women, I know that it may be difficult because we have been brainwashed to make sure that we are told that we are supposed to sacrifice ourselves for everyone else, and that it is selfish and wrong for us to center each other. But literally everybody else can do it. Like, if you notice, black men, they stay on code. Even if something's wrong, even if they know that man is dead wrong, they're always making excuses for that man. Oh, no, it wasn't that big a deal. Oh, look what they're doing with Tory Lanez right now. You know what I'm saying? Wrong or right, black men and even men in general stick together and stay on code. And I would like for black women to stick together and stay on code and center each other and put each other first at all costs. Wrong, right, in between, indifferent, whatever the case may be, unless she's harming children. I think that black women, we should all center each other. And I think the more that we can get together in a cohesive unit where we stay on code, where we make sure that the women that are enemies, which are pick me's and mammies, that will seek to sell you out just to get a man to give her a pat on the head, as long as we can build this unit of each other, of centering each other and not allowing anyone else to penetrate, I think that we would be well served in doing that. I think never mind. I was about to say something else, but I don't even want to be controversial. I'll just say that I've seen several instances of black women that have really tried to do this, and other black women have allowed themselves to be used as attack dogs and pawns by men. Ask yourself, does this man have an XY chromosome? If so, why are you allowing him to weaponize you against another woman? I don't care what the situation is. I don't care what the issue is. Why are you doing that? Because none of them, how many times can I say it? None of them would do it for you, black woman. How many of these people that you may feel like you need to protect are sitting here having lives like I'm having right now about black femicide? How many of the men that you cash app, that you stay in their lives, that you become moderators to, that you say, oh, I'm so happy to hear this black man saying something that black women have said a million times. Oh, it's so great to hear it coming out of a male voice. It's so awesome. How many times do you see these men actually fighting for and passionately speaking about issues that affect black women? Huh? Unless they could get a check out of it, or they could get a clip that they could put on their YouTube and make money. Think about that, honestly. So all I'm saying is, and I don't think there's anything wrong with what I'm saying, is we as women need to stick together and center each other above all else. And it's really just that simple.
Facts. That's big facts. And that's another thing that is so sickening that I'll be seeing up on this app, that the same women that claim that they are sisters, like, oh, I'm girls, I'm for black women, all this other things. But the moment a woman go against a man that they like or deem to be safe, all of a sudden they turn against each other. Men for centuries have always prayed had played that triangulation game amongst women. And these are women who I would consider intelligent women, that you would think that they're smart enough to know the peep game, and they still fall for the okie doke. Because we all know, I understand psychologically that black women are love starved. I understand the desperation of looking for love. I understand the desperation of wanting a so-called male figure to make you feel safe and secure, and he's willing to defend you and fight you against another male. I understand that completely. However, however, it has been proven historically, time after time after time again, when you put a man on a pedestal and deem him to be the protector of women, he always turn around and abuse you. I've never came across any type of male figure that was, had a governing over women, that it had nothing to do with no sex scandal, had money scandal, and he was abusive towards the women that he is so-called protecting. And that is the part where I don't understand, where a lot of these women are keep falling for it. They keep falling for it, and that is not okay. Because what you are doing is misleading other women. Because when we are following another woman, when a woman say that this man is safe, okay, this guy is safe, you are leading women to their doom. You're leading women to their demise. Because other black women trust other black women. You're damn near no different. All you are is a conscious pick me. That's all you are. You're just a conscious pick me, leading women to the in the hands of a man that had been, that especially on this app, that's shown that he has been abusive time after time after time. It's to the point that these dudes don't even have to hide that they're abusive. They boldly do it, Trigger. They boldly do it on their lives, and the next day you would think that he's canceled. You go on his live, there's still 400 black women occupying that space. Saying, yes, 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 bang the cash app, y'all. Get these likes up. And I'm like, did he not just call a group of black women on his live a bunch of bitches, and he just abused them, and y'all still over there clapping it up? I thought we supposed to run. I thought we supposed to bounce at the first red flag. That's what I thought we were standing on. That's the business we're supposed to stand on. The first red flag, you bounce. But I do not see that, because it's still some type of male worship. It's still some type of male, like, like that type of pick me behavior that I see. Obviously, it's not going away no time soon. But a lot of
They
these
will have public criminal records with abuse, child abuse, so on and so forth, and then we'll be talking to women about DV.
What facts? Yes. There is a content creator that has a abuse record, that's on record, right? And all it takes is one Google search away to see his mugshot, that he went in jail for abusing women and for abusing children, I would say a child. And he has been found guilty. He had pled guilty. And this man got a huge, huge platform, all because he identified as hey, him, them, hamster, panda, whatever the fuck he identified himself as. But no, that shit that he abused children, he went to jail for abusing children, had went over their heads. And they will still, those are the same women that will still rally up against another woman for calling him out on that. And this like, I'm sorry, the women up on here that I've seen on this app has been really hypnotized to the, like, I don't know. But I'm gonna just say this just real quick, and then I'm gonna mute up. And I also see a lot of women thinking that they can teach these men out of degeneracy. You cannot teach these men, you cannot educate these men not to be degenerates. You are wasting your time and your breath with these grown ass men. If you got to teach a man to be civil, obviously that is not the type of man that you should have in your circle. I be seeing women literally losing breath trying to explain coercion to a man. And I'm saying to myself, he's a rapist. Leave him alone and just put his picture on blast and tell every woman, don't mess with this dude. He's dangerous. Because he was literally arguing, defending coercion, while this woman is losing brain cells trying to explain to him.
Okay. All right. I mean, I agree. I think it's the same how it goes with white tea people. How I don't explain racial issues with white tea people anymore, because for what? I haven't done that for years because it's a waste of time. Go ahead, proud black woman.
Hey y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Man, this is, oh my God, this is so awesome. And y'all see how they try to take the live down. Anytime you talk about Black women, talk about our issues, nobody wants to hear it. It is amazing to me. We are the only group of people that we cannot talk about our pain without everybody trying to come over here and silence us. And it's amazing to me how Black men can act the way that they have and behave the way that they behave, and then want to turn around and get mad at us for talking about it. That's something I never understood. T Scorpio, oh my God, you said so many things that I talk about on here, and you just related so beautifully. I started realizing, just real quick, I started realizing there was something very different about our community when I was in high school. I was just sitting around, just watching how Black dudes, mind you, high school. So we're talking about boys. We're not talking about men. We're talking about Black boys treating Black girls, throwing it up in our face that they were dating white T girls at an early age. And I remember having conversations with Black girls and Black women, both. I was working at the cleaners at 18. And I remember we were sitting there and I would talk and I would ask them, how do y'all feel about Black guys dating outside the race? Do you know these women looked at me like I was crazy? This was 1998. They was looking at me like something was wrong with me. I was asking a simple question. How do y'all feel about every time we turn around, Black boys and Black girls are demeaning us and dating outside the race? They were looking at, oh, I ain't got no problem with it. I don't care. Now it's cool. What's wrong with it? So I started thinking something was wrong with me. I started thinking maybe I'm the one with the mental illness here. Okay. So here we are in 2025. And the things that I saw when I was 17, 18 years old, now Black women are finally starting to see what I saw all them many years ago. I already knew that our men were treasonous and something was very different about them. And then when you do the research and you look and you see how the most common interracial couple is Black men and white T women, and when they have the highest divorce rate, they've always had the highest divorce rate. They had the highest divorce rate back in 1999 when I first looked it up. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed between them. You know why nothing changed? Because Black men haven't changed. That's why nothing changes. So I started realizing that Black women have always just ignored how Black men have treated us. I have never ignored how the collective of our men treat us. That will always be more important to me than Trump, the administration, the white T man, the Hispanic community. I don't care nothing about all that. And I'm not going to say I don't care about it, but I am more concerned with who is more likely to harm Black women. Who is more likely to tear us down, to abandon us? Treason. The word treason means to betray your own people. That is what so many Black men have done. So for Black women as a collective group to continue to ignore that and expect those same men to still love and adore you and protect you is just absolutely insane to me. And I'm just speaking for me when I say this, because I would never tell another Black woman to do this because that's not my right. But this is why I would never bring a Black male into this world. The way that our community as a collective, I could not live with myself if I created the very thing that I hate, which is a self-hating Black man. I could not live with myself if my son turned out to be like that. And the thing about it is you can love your son. I know Black women who have loved their sons more than they love themselves, because we all know that Black women will put their sons before anything. You'll put your sons before your daughters as a collective group. You love your sons, but you raise your daughters. That is the collective in our community, to the point where I've had conversations with Black women who have sons. Both of their sons don't date Black women. How you birth two sons that don't even like you? Make it make sense to me. I've had this conversation with Black women in grocery stores. I've had grandmothers stop me and have conversations and talk about how their grandsons refuse to date black women. And I'm sitting there thinking like, wow, this is really a thing. Like, how is y'all putting the same sons that will turn on you, and then when you get older and you're sick, your son's not even around. Your sons are in prison. The same sons that you call a king, the same sons that you continue to put on a pedestal. When you get sick, you know who's there for you? Your daughters. The
Or
same.
neglected. Yup.
Do you see what I'm saying? So this whole pick me and mammy, my point is, and I'll land it here, this whole pick me and mammy, I started noticing this at 17, 18 years old. I didn't know the word for it. I didn't know the word for it. But the word is pick me and mammies. Black women who continue to ignore the behavior of black men and love them anyway. And what I have learned, y'all, even in relationships and dealing with families, in order to get black men to ever respect us as a collective group, you're going to have to learn how to walk away from them. You're going to have to learn how to show them your back. And the problem with that is too many black women want to be loved. And that goes back to what T Scorpio was saying. Too many black women want to be loved. And I get it. I get it. We all want to be loved, but not to the detriment of our own safety. It's going to have to get to the point where black women say no and turn your back, even if it comes down to the men in your family who are not treating you well. Because that's the best message you can send anybody is, I'm going to turn my back on you. No more access. That way you can't continue to use and abuse me. Black men have never had to suffer for anything that they've done to us. They have never paid the price for anything. They are just now paying the price. And trust me, black men will get what they deserve. I have prayed about this. Even the fact that we're having this conversation in 2025, this is a conversation I wish we had in 1997. So we're making strides. I'm no longer the only black woman that sees this shit, because I was the only one. I did imagine that at 17, 18 years old, feeling like something wrong with me, because nobody understood what I was trying to say back then. Nobody cared. Everybody was too busy trying to, oh, it's okay, I still love black men. But you sitting up here talking about how your brother don't even like you. You sitting up here telling stories about how your brother wouldn't date you, but you love your brother. I could never love my brother if he didn't love black women. I could never.
Fact, but you know that they hate their mothers. All the root of it all, they hate their mothers and they hate being born black. They resent their mothers so much for giving birth to a black boy is not even funny. And that's another thing that we have to come to terms with as black women, that these black men literally hate the skin that they are born in. And that type of mental illness that you cannot fix. That is, you come across a man that hate himself. You look in the mirror and go, I wish I wasn't black. I wish I was born in a skin complexion that I had power and wealth and respect. That's uncurable. It's nothing you can do about that. There's no amount of love you can give that man. There's no amount of education you can give that man to make him love himself and to make him love black women. And that's a hard pill to swallow, ladies, but that's a pill you got to swallow nonetheless. We are dealing with a demographic of men that hate themselves.
I feel like if you I was thinking about this. I think that black women are in a relationship where it's like, like a bully, or like maybe like a man that tries to get a woman, with money, or tries to lure them. And so the woman may stay there for a while because, she's getting money and she's getting benefits. But at the end of the day, she's going to resent that person, resent that man, or or just like a person that's constantly, they're abusing you, they're taking you for granted, but you still keep coming back. And I think that's exactly what black women as a collective do, because of course it's not all black women right now, but it's still a nice little chunk of women that still do that. I don't believe that black men, because I don't know, I still have a bite size of hope that I hope that one day that black men and the black community can be fixed and be repaired, because I do think that black people are amazing. However, I don't believe it'll be in my lifetime, and I don't even believe it'll be in my daughter's lifetime either. But I think the first step to ever getting some type of repair is to stop coddling black men, Stop worshiping black men. Stop making them feel like they're kings for doing the barest of the bare minimum. Stop uplifting them and talking about how much how beautiful a black man is, and how there's nothing like a black man, and all of these other type of things, when they don't collectively support you or uplift your beauty in that way. Because it's like, at this point, black men can be abusive, they can be murderous, they can be disrespectful, they can degrade the image of the black woman in the public eye, and have other races saying things about us that they don't even have the context or don't even know nothing about. They're just going off what black men say, and black women still support them. The only way that we can make any headway is if we stop and we say, you know what, that's it. Enough is enough. No support at all for none of y'all. Unless I know you in my real life, and I know for a fact you legit, no help, no support collectively. We don't stand behind you publicly at all. You're on your own. The women and the people that you think are so much better, y'all go to them for support. And I think that it's so obvious, but I feel like black men are still so like out of it and delusional that they don't realize it. Every time black women withdraw their support, like if you think about Telvin Osborne, or you think about the other one that was with the OnlyFans model white tee girl that unalived him, if black women say no, and we're not supporting, and we're not saying nothing, then nothing happens. You fade off into obscurity. You go into the dungeon of never being remembered and nobody getting justice for you. Because at the end of the day, black women are the laborers. Black women are the ones that speak out and get things done. That's the reason why they say that black women are the head of so many different social justice movements, all while simultaneously being ignored by other people and no one speaking up for our plight. So I just feel like black women, we've got to stop. The only way we can do better, and the only way that we can get any type of, even if we take black men out of it, to reclaim our respect and our power for ourselves, we've got to stop protecting and defending a group of men that will not do the same collectively. They won't. So we've got to stop, because if you're always there for somebody and they don't have to do anything for you, what happens there? They take you for granted. If they know that they can talk about you, beat you down in the ground, they can grape you, they can unalive you, they can beat the brakes off you, they can disrespect you in public, they can allow others to, and you're still going to be right there talking about my black king, why would they respect you? Why would they do that? There would be no motivation to do so. The only motivation, the only way to stop this is to stop to stop the behavior that black women are doing, and also stop the coddling and the enabling. Like I said, I got a video on my YouTube right now about the guy that's the New Orleans escapee, Antoine Massey, and how his aunt went up on social media talking about, oh, he's not a monster. He's not that bad. He just been hurt. It's the white T-man. All of the things that happened, the system just wasn't made for him. When this man has charges pending for rape, kidnapping, abuse, domestic violence. They told the story of what happened with the girl that also was caught assisting him. He beat the brakes off this lady, choked her so bad that her voice was hoarse, blacked both of her eyes to where they was swollen, pulled the braids out from her scalp, But yet she's there supporting him. Now she's locked up for trying to help this man escape. And so is his sister, and is on his own social media mammying for him. This is the reason why, because he sat there and beat and abused black women, and yet those same black women are coming to his defense. Why would they respect black women? What would be the motivation to be better when they can be the worst of the worst and they can still get the best of you? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me keep going. Super villain, you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm just so grateful to be in a room full of knowledgeable black women. It was a couple of points. I first gonna say, Trig knows this already. For me, it's all men. I know we're specifically talking about black men right now, but it's absolutely all men for me. I do not believe in good men. I believe men can do good things, and women confuse that with them being good people. I definitely want to say this. I am one to always say the most pro-black thing a man can do is not date black women when he does not like black women. I won't tell him he's self-hating. I won't tell him he hate his mama. I will wish him well and ask him to take a couple brothers with him on the way out. Because the worst thing you can do is be in a relationship where a black man will make you suffer because you are not white tea. So for all those Yes, for all those who don't want to be with a black woman, don't date them. That's the best thing. That is the safest black woman when you are not in a relationship with her. Now, I do want to say this because when it comes to the men harming or unaliving black women, it's a big part that we don't. Well, we did discuss it a little bit earlier, and that's the dangerous women who assist these men. One of the last stories I heard was this guy went to go unalive his daughter's mother at a Walmart or something like that, where his mother worked there as well. And she was egging him on because of something like an STD or
Yeah, that was
paternity.
Home Depot. That was Home
Okay,
Depot.
so you know
And
what I'm talking about.
I actually talked to the girl who was the victim, her sister. She came on my
Wow.
live when I was talking about it. She said none of that was true.
That's what
She said it was
that's
him. Yeah.
that's the they will said something happened. He went to attack her and it came out it wasn't true. So he went and took a life for something that was absolutely not true. Trick, by the way, there was another one where he came out, some information came out that another guy was DL and he went and unalived the girlfriend, the mother, and the sister because he did not want to be embarrassed about his sexuality. I want to say this. Oftentimes, and this is going to be the hard part, a lot of us see red flags and we ignore them. And we end up in situations that are dangerous. And I only say this because my sister had to revive her best friend after being attacked by her fiance. My sister is the one who told her best friend, leave this man, leave this man, leave this man. She would not listen until he poked her 45 times. She survived, by the way. Thank Mother Nature. She survived. But when women do this, you're not only endangering yourself, you're affecting the lives around you. My sister loved her best friend. She would give her a kidney. If she had been 2 minutes later, if she had hit a red light on the way to go check on her friend, she would not be here right now. And that would affect her. It would affect her children and her family. So it's not just about the actual victim as well. It's about the people around them, the people who live their life loving them. Please, when you see these red flags, walk away. And I definitely understand being love starved. Actually, I don't. I'm going to be honest, y'all. I tell y'all all the time, my daddy raised me to be a strong black man. That's why I'm a very masculine woman. So I never really had pick me tendencies or anything like that. But this is why I get on this app and tell black women I love y'all every day. But y'all won't listen to me telling y'all I love y'all. Y'all go to another live and absorb the hate, the vitriol that a stranger will give you. But over here, when we try to show black women love, the numbers are what? We barely get 100. But y'all be over there in the 200, 300s with these black men telling y'all ain't shit. I don't get it. At this point, we have to take accountability too.
Super villain, if you was a man saying all of this, they would have listened.
I mean, I tried a deep voice thing. I know my voice is deep, but it's just not right, Trey. Right? It's just not working out. But I just say this, black woman. That's why I always, whenever I be in these lives, and I love Trick Space, I always love to end with telling black women how much I love them. And I know I'm a nobody. I'm not a huge content creator. Actually, I don't create any content. But I want y'all to know somebody out there love you. And if it's only one person, that person is me. Like proud black woman said, stop, starve them the attention. Stop giving them the attention. That's what they want from us. They don't care if it's good or bad. I can say this because I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, y'all. I've been semen free for 15 years. I've been practicing separatism since I was 21 years old. I wasn't an old hag. I was in my prime doing this. It's possible. You can live a happy life, but first you got to know you enough. Black women, you gotta understand that you enough. You gotta the love that we give everybody else. If we took 1/10 and installed it in ourselves and our sister next to us, I mean, we could probably fly. We could probably fly. And y'all know how I feel about making black women human. But we could probably fly if we just took 1/10 of that black male worship and instilled it in ourselves and our daughters. And that's the most important part because y'all know I'm a misandrist. I'm never going to look to men to protect me. I don't believe in men protecting and providing. They cause the harm and they hoard the resources. I can never look at a snake and expect it not to bite me. I can never expect my apex predator to be the guardianship of my safety. It starts with us. We got to understand that we're enough and we're enough together. I mean, you'll there for now.
All
Thanks,
right, all
Trey.
right. I appreciate you, super villain. You definitely were spitting facts, and I agree with everything that you said, for sure. And I really don't have anything to add to it because you said it all. Let me go over here to Koi. You let me send your request to turn your mic on just in case you can. Did you have something to say, Koi? You there, sis? Or can y'all hear her? I know she unmuted her mic.
No,
Can y'all?
she probably stepped away from the phone real quick.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Oh,
Can
okay.
you
sure
hear
did.
me?
She's back.
I
Oh,
don't
there
know
she
if
go.
y'all
You
can hear me.
there?
Yes.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say that it's very empowering to hear everybody's stories. It's bringing up a lot of memories of domestic violence that I've been through twice, and other examples that I've seen with other people in my life, whether they were close to me or far away, or stories that I read. And I just encourage every Black woman to take your power back and, as you like to say a lot, trigger, give these men no grace because they do things to us that they give us no option in, they give us no information, no kind of heads up or anything. Do what you have to do to protect you. And I know some of y'all saw me joking in the comments and stuff like that, saying, go ahead and do witchcraft. Do what you gotta do because they're doing the same thing. And it's time for us right now. I feel like in the universe that's saying it's time for women to take back our power and our rightful place of who we are by knowing who we are and doing what needs to be done to protect ourselves and to just be happy, whether it's with a man or not. Do it.
And I think that's very important when we talk about self love because the core root of it all is that thing called love. You know, loving, like, you know, we was conditioned that this is what love is. Love is when you forgive somebody even when they're doing something atrocious to you. Love is when you turn another cheek. Love is when you stick by somebody even though they putting you through the fire. Absolutely not. That is not love. That is suffering and it doesn't make any sense. Why would you stay in a place where you are suffering mentally, psychologically, spiritually, and especially physically? It doesn't make any sense. You have to use the common sense that you were born with. You cannot get that's no place where it's love, and that's where I cannot stress even with women so much. Like, stop staying in a place where you are not you're not seeing the love reciprocating. If you want to go by that fairy tale hocus pocus Disney love stuff, look at your life. Are you getting that? Are you getting that? No, you're not. You're not. So why stay in a place where you're at? And it's just like what supervillains say, even though we hate the word accountability, because when in their definition, accountability means, like, you know, if you ever saw Games of Thrones, how the woman had to walk through the streets butt naked and the bell was ringing, shame, shame. That's their definition what accountability is. No, accountability is seeing what you have done, realizing it was a mistake, learn from it, and don't repeat it again. That is accountability. You acknowledge that you messed up, or even if it's not your fault, you just acknowledge that, okay, this was my past. Now I'm going to heal from it. I'm going to grow from it, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. That is what accountability is. Accountability is loving yourself enough not to go through it again. But if you see yourself fall into the same patterns, you have to stop and look at yourself and say, what am I doing? Why am I keep choosing this type of why I keep choosing these type of people in my circle? And you even have to be a romantic relationship because anybody can be around you and be a parasite. It could be a friend because even though we're talking about DV, one of the things I want to point out that, you know, is not talked about very often is how a lot of times those type of women that want to stay where they're at, like the supervillain was talking about, and they will put you in harm's way. I'm sorry, if we're going to talk about reality, that is a reality as well, that a lot of these women know that they dude is dangerous and want to keep pulling you consistently down with them, even though you have did everything in your power to get them away from that person, and they are just bound and determined to bring that man into her life. As hard as it sounds, you have to let her go too. You have to let her go, even though that is, like I said, I have to do it. I'm speaking from personal experience that I have done it myself. I couldn't keep being friends with a woman that if I came out of my pocket, I took time, energy, everything to help this woman get out of a DV situation, and she ran right back to him. There was no miles to bring her to take her that she would not bring that man along, that he was not behind her and she was giving him the directions. So I had to tell myself that I have to let you go, because the more I'm helping you, the more I am draining myself, because I know I don't want this in my circle. But as long as I'm connected to you and you're connected to that man, I'm a part of it. And I have to
Okay.
let you go. And I have to let you go. So ladies, please, if you know a friend like that, that want to keep being with a man that you know that is dangerous, the best thing you can do is just call 911 and just keep it pushing. That's the best thing I would suggest. Just call 911 and just keep it pushing. You cannot risk your life to save somebody else who don't want to be saved. I'm sorry. I understand we're girls. We love each other. We love women, but we have to also acknowledge the women that's also putting us in harm's way. That looks like a victim, and I know how that sounds. I know how
Okay.
that sounds.
Uh,
So
excuse me. I just wanted to interject in and say I understand what you're saying. There are women that have tried to help their friends and assist their friends, and they have been unalived. I guess I'm assuming that you mean like if you try to help a woman and you know that she's gonna keep going back, not to further keep on assisting her if you know that she's gonna go back. But I just want to say that sometimes a woman in a DV situation, she may need, some assistance, she may need a friend, and she may be serious, but I understand that that's on a case by case basis, or whether you know that woman is really serious or not, or if you know that if you help her to get somewhere where she can escape, maybe even get out of town, go to a different state, that she's actually gonna stick to that and stay gone and go under the radar where he can't find her. Then I think if you have a friend like that, you know what I'm saying, you could definitely assist and help her. But I also believe in doing like solutions. And as much as we talk about black men or men in general and the violence that they're capable of, we know that there are always going to be women that will choose to, take the risk because, and I'm in the opinion that not all men are bad. I do think that I don't know, it's been a long time since I've set my stat on how many bad men versus good men I believe there are to be, but I believe that about 75% of men are bad, and or they would be bad if the circumstances allowed them to be, and 25% of men are decent. That's my opinion. There's a lot of women think there's even less than that, but that's my opinion, 75-25. So there are always going to be women, in my opinion, that will be on search of the 25%, and the 25% goes across all races. It's not just for black men, I mean all men in general. So we also have to tell women about solutions, because just like Supervillain was saying earlier, I really truly do believe, out of all the thousands and thousands of black women that I've talked to over the years, is that when I ask them when they've had bad relationships, even if it wasn't like an abusive relationship, if it was just bad, like if he was just a cheater or something like that, or if he was an out and out abuser, I asked black women and also other women too, I would say 98% of them say that there was a red flag that they remember. Not, if I'm being truthfully, like 99.999% of the women that are honest have said, hey, yes, I saw red flags. I saw things that gave me pause and I just ignored it. Now, it could be a lot of reasons why the woman ignored it. She could have ignored it because she had intercourse with this man too soon, and he been putting her through the mattress, and now all of a sudden she feels, connected to him because he busting her down, he breaking her back. You know what I'm saying? It could be that, or it could be that she was so desperate and had internalized the fact that she feels like if she doesn't have a man that she's less than or something like that. So she wanted to hurry up and get the man, or he yelled at her in some type of way, or he called her the B word, or he did something that made her feel in the pit of her stomach. I don't think he's right. I don't think he's right, but she rationalized it away. So I think one of the biggest protection factors in helping black women is the first time he does anything, never give men grace. And I say this all the time. Do not give men grace. Make no excuses for them. So the first time he makes you feel some type of way, The first time you feel like that could have, was that a little violent? Or why did he yell at me like that? Or why did he do this? Or why did he do that? Or I call him a lie and a liar, this and that. Discontinue that relationship with him immediately, because 9 times out of 10, and I don't want to victim blame, but 9 times out of 10, when women have certain experiences, they've already seen it coming. I think that a lot of times we reduce Black women's power. Black women are very powerful. Black women are very intelligent. Black women are very intuitive. Their woman's intuition most of the time is on 3,000 trillion. And we see the things before they even occur. We just ignore them for some reason. And having a man in your life is not worth it if at the end of the day, he's going to unalive you. He's going to abuse you. He's going to financially steal your resources. He's going to cheat on you and possibly infect you with a disease that you can't get rid of, or any of those things. But like I said, I think that another focus should be, just like I said, on just realizing a bad man when you see one. And this isn't to, like I said, the victim blame anybody. It's just to say you can see things. And just like I can say with my first husband, I saw things that gave me pause. You know what I'm saying? But I ignored them. And then when I found myself getting knocked between the washer and the dryer, it's like, dang, you know what? I did kind of see this. And this is not funny, but I mean, the things that he did to me were horrific. But it was just like, if I had been of the mind that I am now, I would have realized, hey, you know what I'm saying? That man is not right. There are many red flags going on about this man to show me that he's not going to be right. And I'll just say that for my second husband, I've been married now it'll be 16 years this year. Never had any issues. Was a great man, kind man, gentle man. But I will say that I took all of my, looking for red flags, and I applied that to anybody that I dated moving forward. So I was the quick person, like I go on one date. Oh, no. Something about you don't say, oh, nope. You just did one little thing. Nope, I'm not going. Nope, yeah, you did one little thing. Nope. And I feel like that's a protection. But so many people to act like Black women can't have no standards. You know what I mean? Oh, you being too picky, girl. You need to go ahead and lay him with, so you can have a man, girl. You ain't never going to have a man with all them standards. Well, cool. If I don't have one, then that's fine. Then God doesn't want me to have nobody. Because lowering your standards is exactly how you end up like these women on this picture, unfortunately. Or even if the issue isn't that severe, let's say he just, messes up your credit, or he, you know what I'm saying, cheats on you and degrades you, and it's a whole lot of other things that can happen too outside of being unalived. So, like I said, I'm not blaming these women at all. I just want y'all to know that. I'm not. What happened to these women is horrific. But the only thing that I really like to talk about is how can we prevent things in the future? Because we cannot change men. We cannot change the actions of men. We cannot change the behavior of men. We cannot change this desire to degrade and put down Black women that Black men clearly have. And they have had for a long, long, long time. So we can't stop that. All we can change is how we move. That's it. That's the only thing that we can do. And how we protect ourselves, and the guidelines that we have for men that we may or may not get involved with. Because as much as I could say to women, hey, don't talk to no men ever again, I know that that's not going to happen. There are going to be women that talk to men. There are. You know what I'm saying? But so I'd be a hypocrite to say that anyway, since I'm married. But I'm just saying that, definitely we have to give, ways for all Black women wherever they are in life on how to protect themselves. If y'all get what I'm saying. But I'm gonna add this lady up, Destiny, so that she can speak, and then I'll let everybody speak one more time, and then I'm gonna go ahead and end the live because I hit 2 hours, and normally I end it after 2. So I'm gonna go over here to Destiny, and then I'll let all of you ladies speak again, and then we'll wrap it up. Go ahead, Destiny. Are you there? I wonder if she requested by mistake. You there, Destiny?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to come up, guys. You could drop me.
No problem, sis. I'll drop you. It's okay.
Thank you.
Oh, shoot, I probably dropped it too quick. No problem, Destiny. It's all right. A lot of times it's a serious problem. There is a very large collective of Black men that have no way to emotionally regulate themselves. None. They have been told from birth that they're doing a great job and been given a participation trophy, even though they have done nothing to be deserving of any type of praise. I remember with my first husband, he was such a trash person. And I used to think to myself, like, why he's no good? And he's just no good, but he feel like he's somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it was his only male in his family. And that's what it was. It was all of these black women behind him, enabling him. You know what I'm saying? If it's skipping, it's probably because somebody's reporting me, and I'm going to go through and just block everybody that's in the live that I don't know, or that's a man, or has a blank profile. But anyway, yes, ma'am.
Hi. Okay, yes, really quick. This is so great. So the last thing I would like to add is just really like what you were saying. For those of us who still, and I love this. I love this because you're married to a black man and you still speak on these things. And I feel like a lot of black women who are in relationships or married to black men, they feel like they don't want to talk about stuff like this. They're afraid because once again, they feel like they're going to offend their husbands. I don't play that over here. I date all men. I've dated every race of men. I'm open to all races of men, including black men. And the thing that I do when I'm dealing with black men, because let's be honest, when you're dealing with black men, you have to work with them differently because of the self-hate that runs in our community. So when I'm dealing with black men, I let them know right off the bat, there will be no disrespect over here. I let them know right off the bat, I'm not a ride or die. I let them know who I am right then in the beginning. Because what I've learned is when you tell a man exactly what you're not going to put up with, you also have to show him, and you also have to let him know that you are willing to leave. And when I look at that, I've been in this world over 40 years. I'm going to just say that. I even talked to my therapist. For me, I've never been in an abusive relationship. I've never had a man hit me. And I think that's partly because as soon as a man touches me inappropriately, I speak on that. As soon as a man says something to me that I don't want to hear, or if he's talking too loud or his voice, he's starting to yell, I check him on that. I check a man early, because when you check him on those little things, like y'all was saying, I check a man early, because when you check him on those little things, like y'all was saying earlier, it never gets to the abuse. Because if a man know that he can't touch you inappropriately, he know he can't yell at you. If he knows he can't yell at you, he know he can't put hands on you. Everything starts off small with men. Y'all got to remember that. If they going to start out, every man going to try you. It doesn't matter what a great man he is. I don't care if he a church man. And black women, get out of that. Get out of that thinking that you need a man of God. Most black men are not of God. Let's be honest. Most black men are not of God. They use that to hide behind their degeneracy. They use God to hide behind their degeneracy. So stop looking for, I need a man of God. Most of these dudes are not men of God. They're pretending. They're actors. Let's be very clear about that. They cheat. They put hands on women. They will touch your daughter. They're not men of God. So we got to get out of that. I need a man of God. No, you don't. And I'm not saying that you don't need a man that believes in God. I'm saying that most of the men who brag about being a man of God, if he's bragging about being a man of God, I can tell you right now, he's not one. So when I'm dealing with black men, when I'm dealing with all men, but I'm just saying specifically with black men, another thing, I think I told you this too. I let them know that I've dated outside the race. So they already know I'm not one of those women that's I'm not finna ride or die for you. Okay. And I notice, they respect that very early on when you let them know what you're not going to put up with. But you also have to stand on that. And this is why black men continue to do what they do, because they know you're not going to stand on that. You'll continue to take them back when they cheat. You'll continue to take him back after he put hands on you the first time. You'll continue to take him back. So you have to actually send the message. And I just want black women to understand that with black men, you're going to have to show them they don't care about you talking. They don't care about what you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth. If you say you're going to leave him, you need to actually leave. If you say you're not going to deal with a man that put hands and feet on you, you need to leave the first time he put hands and feet on you. I don't care about you being pregnant and having kids for him. And that's another thing, black women. We in 2025. Stop having kids for these dudes. I know I don't really have a right to tell y'all that, but think about it. These dudes have no problem impregnating you and doing what? Walking away. We see it all the time. They don't care about you having their baby. They will still walk out on you. So that's something else that Black women need to do. We're trying to fix the Black community. And in order to do that, we're going to have to stop doing certain things. We're going to have to stop doing certain things. And as we stop doing certain things, and I'll land here, Black men as a collective are going to become more violent because they're not used to that. They're not used to us standing on business. But I promise you, as more of us continue to stand on business, start calling 911, start getting these white boys out here. Because that's, look, the one thing Black men are afraid of as a collective is white tea men. Let's just call it what it is. They're afraid of them. And they also look up to them because they want the same power that white tea men have. That's why they treat us the way that they do. Once y'all start using 911, once y'all start using that iron and getting into that range, I promise y'all, like you said, it may not happen in our lifetime, but we are getting there. Black men will eventually get the message. It's not going to happen by prayer alone. So if you're a Black woman who just thinks, I'm going to just leave it in the Lord's hands. Okay, you can leave it in the Lord's hands if you want to. When that man start putting hands and feet on you, you're going to be sent to see the Lord. Okay, God gives you common sense as well, Black women. Like, yeah, God going to help you, but you got to help yourself. And part of that is get what you need to protect yourself and start using common sense and start putting yourself first, not Black men. And I promise you, in 20 years, we will see a change. So I will land there. Thank you for allowing me on once again.
All right. No problem, sis. All right, let me go down here to we'll do Cookie, then T, then Coy, then Supervillain. Go ahead, Cookie. Hey.
Hey everybody. I was fighting trying to get some good connection. I really was. I'm so glad to hear from everybody and everybody sharing all their knowledge and wisdom and, the statements, because this needs to happen. And I'm glad that we all are a collective that agree that this needs to happen. And, she said since 97, and that's the year I was born. So, it's good to know that, me becoming an adult woman and feeling that feeling of loneliness and feeling like I the only one that sees this. I've been feeling this way since I was a kid. And then my whole life I've been gaslighted. Oh no, it's not that. All these made up excuses for these terror demons, because that's what Black men act like to Black women. All these different think pieces and prayer groups and moments of silence for them. You get what I'm saying? They pass away. Everybody wants to act like they were a martyr. People inviting pedo men to that's not even related to the family to funerals because you just have to be around this degenerate Black man because your stepfather died, so you like, oh sorry, I should have never said the D word, but your stepfather passed away and you're like, this is my opportunity to call my abusive Black ex-boyfriend so he could come speak at the funeral. Meanwhile, he tried to touch your niece and you're sitting there acting like he didn't. You know what I mean? And my cousin got to sit there and act like everything's cool, and then she's talking to me and I'm like, wow. And I did ask that because I asked my mom, I said, is that the same guy that locked her in the bathroom that time? Because you look ridiculous. You look like a clown. Like, and it always wants to go into, they want to make it seem like you're bashing them for the things they went through. Nobody's bashing you for the things you went through. People are bashing you when you go through stuff like that and you don't grow. You don't learn. You don't teach yourself that, listen, I need to make better choices for my lineage and for the future of all Black women. If you as a Black woman don't see that we are responsible for each other's future, like I hope that our Black girls get to be able to have Black men who have some sense and knowledge and compassion about themselves. We ask, why are Black men doing this? We've come to the census is them being enabled by the Black women in their lives It's them being coddled by the black women in their lives. It's them not having to be accountable for what they do to black women in their lives. And this is why we deal with it. We all know this. I went through DV situations, and guess why I went through them? Because the people in his life never held him accountable. And I'm talking about multiple black men. Don't hold them accountable. They act like, oh, because, and then they wonder why I don't give them no respect. I don't. I'm not going to, because you don't deserve it, because you're a part of the problem. And it starts to feel like you got popped on, so you want everybody else to get a shot. Everybody else got to get popped because you got one when you was 20 something, because you had to go through it. And that's the part where when everybody's saying black women need to have accountability, this is what black women need to be accountable for. Not wigs, lashes, and weaves, not talking loud and rolling their necks, not frivolous stuff that don't really affect nothing. The stuff that really is affecting our community, which is enabling abusers. I have my most precious black woman in my life, because I'm gonna try to respect her and not just put the label on her, so people know who I'm talking about. I had to let her know, you failed all of us. You failed all of us because you taught us that this was okay. You never took accountability for you giving this image of what a black woman is supposed to go through. And you went through all this BS, and then you're wondering why your children can't make proper decision making in relationships. It's your fault that your children don't have successful relationships. Every time your daughter gets popped in her face, it's your fault. And they want to say, you're bashing me. Why is there no grace for me? Why can't you just accept my apology? Because it's not real. Because if it was real, you would have made better choices the first time, not after the first time, or the third time, or the fifth time. But you decided to be satisfied with the no standards that you had, that you set the lowest standard for your daughters, and then you're wondering why you're not going to weddings, but you're visiting hospitals that your daughters are in. This is why. And I land my plane because I just wanted to say that. And thank you guys so much for coming up here and giving your point of views and your statements, because it's needed.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, Cookie. And I definitely agree with what you said. I'm gonna go down here to Koi and then Supervillain. It says T's thinking the little bubbles is up, but it don't have her added up. I don't know what's going on. You can go ahead, Koi.
I just wanted to say a couple of quick points, real quick,
Okay.
that I want everybody to kind of be aware of. A lot of people think abusers are, you know, very showy and loud and they're pushy and stuff like that. One of the ones that I want people to kind of pay attention to these days is the quiet, soft spoken man who's pretty cool, who's pretty chill, who doesn't argue about anything, that doesn't speak up. A lot of these men are allowed to coast and not respond when you call something out, when you're upset about something. They seem like they're okay, but the behavior doesn't change. Do not let that soft spoken behavior and that quote unquote, I'm a peaceful type of man fool you, because they can be just as manipulative as an abuser that's out loud. So please be aware of who you're interacting with, especially when they're soft spoken. That's a good characteristic to have, but it's also manipulative. So heads up on that. That's something I had to learn as well. Another thing I wanted to touch on is two more or three more quick points. I encourage every woman to take self defense. Every woman. My dad taught me. I recently discovered that there are karate dojos and other martial arts places that specifically teach self defense to women. It could save your life. You might not think you won't need it one day. It's better to have it than to not. Another thing I just wanted to piggyback on, standing up for yourself, even when you're in a relationship. I used to think it would scare a man away from me. Actually, the man that wants to be with you, that really loves you and appreciates you, will stick by you for standing up for yourself. There's a book that I encourage everybody to read, which I'm getting ready to find. One of my great women friends told me about this. It's called Why Women Love B Words. It's a great book to know. they respect you when you stand up for yourself. So never, ever be afraid to stand up for yourself, whoever it is. And my last point I want to make is don't let other women make you feel bad for your choices, your boundaries, how you choose to live your life, whether it's with a man or not, whether or not you choose to have children, because you have decided to protect yourself as a Black woman. And these are the standards that you have for a man to be in your life, should you choose to have one. Do not let them convince you or make you feel bad that you have taken on this stance, because it is your life and you're in charge of it. They are not going to come around when it falls apart because you took their, it falls apart because you took their advice and now you're miserable like them. Leave those pick me's where the pick me's is at. They gonna be fine. Take care of you. Those are my only points I got to say.
All right, Coy. I appreciate you, and I definitely agree with you. I'm gonna go up here to T, and then I'll go end off with supervillain because T was the next, but she just had dropped down. She probably had something. Okay, go ahead, T, and then we'll go to supervillain.
Yeah, no, I was outside sitting in the front of my yard with my baby and him running around the yard in the sun. When his phone gets heated up, it acts silly. But anyway, I was just gonna say that one that I just want to put that out there. Just because you're in a relationship, that doesn't mean anything, and just because you're not in a relationship, that don't mean that something's wrong with you either. One of the things that I feel like we have to stop using in our language when we talk to each other is that like a relationship is supposed to be a reflection of you, a reflection of your character, a reflection of you as a woman, as a human being, when in all reality is not. A relationship exactly is what it is. It's optional. You could choose not to be in one, you could choose to be in one. You know, and like there's a lot of things like what proud black woman was saying, and I 100% agree with her that if you are in a relationship with a man in particularly and specifically a black man, well any man, but I would just really just say is how you basically how he treats you, how he feels about you, he will show it. And I will say with women, the first person you have to fall in love with is yourself. The first person you have to like is yourself. Because you cannot expect some man to come in your life and then just be some type of Prince Charming to you when you have not done the healing to love yourself first. Because when you love yourself first, nobody, you're gonna make sure you have those so-called ridiculous standards. Because you know that your peace matters. You will know that your safety matters. And that's the number one thing, like I keep stressing, is that staying alive is the priority. Safety is a priority, not just for yourself, also for your children as well. And I'm speaking from experience that only thing it takes to do to get out of line one time and I'm out. Like the father of my son. He did his schizophrenic abusive tendency talking loud one time. And that's all he did was just raise his voice. And that was it. Blocked. That was it. Blocked. And a lot of people was trying to convince me, especially his raggedy mother, try to tell me like, it's not his fault. It's a mental illness, it's schizophrenia, it's not his fault, blah, 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 blah. This is where you come in as a wife and help him. Absolutely the hell not, because what you are doing is trying to put me and my baby, my unborn baby, in danger. And if it's anyone I'm gonna make sure that is safe in this world is my child. Because that is what mothers do. I'm gonna say it again. That is what a loving mother do. She makes sure she protects her child at all costs, and that's one of the things why what's going on has been upside down, because we have allowed men to turn us against our very nature, which is to protect our children. And that is unacceptable in any type of shape, form, or fashion, is that we have allowed our culture to pedestalize these men so much that it's actually normal to put a man over your child, rather he's a father or not, just because he's a man. Like this ridiculousness. Who eats first at the table, the child or your man? That's a ridiculous culture. That is a ridiculous question. Who's gonna get the big piece of chicken, the child or the man? That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. If you gotta actually think, if you actually find yourself in a situation that you gotta choose between a man or your child, I would say first of all, sis, you fucked up in the head. I'm sorry to say the F word, but you messed up in the head to even consider that, that as a question. because with no doubt in my mind, that wasn't even a thought. I just bounced because I thought about the safety of my child. And I understand, just like what Trigger is saying, that it sounds like we're being hypocritical because, we're married women. She was married a lot longer than I have. But one of the things that, like, I would honestly say that this marriage fell on my lap. And you already know my stance that I believe marriage is a business. And one of the things that was established with this man is he a safe man? Is this is a man that respects me? Is this a man that takes account of my child's safety? Is this is a man that does prioritize us? And I wouldn't marry him if he didn't. Absolutely, my safety is a must. And another thing, like the proud woman say, if a man see that you respect yourself, he knows not to cross over that boundary. This man has seen the way I move, walked away from my son's father with just as little as him raising his voice at me, and he even said it out of his own mouth that I know I can't pull no shit with you. Like I already know that you're a woman that believes that safety matters, and I would never put you in a situation or make you feel unsafe for me because I want you in my life, and I know if I get out of line, you're done. And I'm happy that he knows that. And I'm happy that he acknowledged that. Because I do not play that, ladies. And you don't have to be in a relationship to feel love. You don't have to be in a relationship to feel like you are worthy. You don't have to be in a relationship to be happy. You really don't. You really don't. I just like that's one of the main things I just want to make sure that we just keep promoting that, like stop promoting like relationships amongst us, like like, oh, if you don't get yourself together, you're not going to be in a healthy relationship, or everything is surrounded when it comes to the Black community about relationships and smacks and this so-called reproduction. We
Hey,
got to populate
see,
the Black community.
see.
What happened? Mhm.
Yeah, I think Kadia has a response to you, which is why I added her up.
Oh, she
Uh,
did.
yeah, I think she has a response to you. Kadia,
Huh.
well, were you trying to respond to T in the comments? I sent you.
No. She was saying she actually made her point because at first I was like a little confused, but then she went in the right direction.
Oh, which part?
What do you
Like
mean?
was
What do you mean the right
yeah.
direction?
I'm somewhere right now, but I think I heard that like she was talking about how she how do I say this? Sorry, I speak two languages, so I have to find my words sometimes. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah, because I thought that she was because she said in the comments to get away from men and find community. She said, "Bruh, get away
Oh
from
yeah,
that."
no, I don't. Well, because I wasn't barely hearing her because of where I'm at, but basically I heard bits and pieces of what she was saying. But I do think that Black women should prioritize finding community with, finding sisterhood, finding community with other women. I think
Yeah.
what's hurting us is that we are being male centered, which is the cause of our mothers, our grandmothers, because they grew up in an era where they needed men to survive. We're in a whole new breakthrough era. Like, we're bossed up, we're getting degrees, we're buying our own cars, we're getting our own apartments. So there's no need for a man. It's kind of a want at this point. And I'm just kind of tired of how I'm just tired of people shaming Black women or like pushing them into the arms of men that they don't provide or protect them, but yet somehow we're always being blamed for their shortcomings, or we're blamed for stuff happening to us, and there's just no sisterhood. And I really
Yeah,
think this is the cause of the problems.
I think maybe you've
Absolutely.
been here before, but I'll just hold on. Let me see if I can mute all of y'all because it's like some blowback. But I'll just say maybe you haven't been here in this particular space. But even though T is married and she has a husband, like this is our community, just like Cookie was saying in the comments. Like I would say the majority of Black women that are here, like we are in community, we are in sisterhood. And I think that you can not have a man, or you can have a man and still be in sisterhood with other Black women, just to make sure that you keep that a priority, and you realize that that is a very important thing to do. So that's the only reason why I brought you up, because I thought that you might have I don't know, I thought you might have had the wrong perspective.
And
No, I
I'm all
completely
about
agree.
sisterhood. I'm all about sisterhood. I'm all about that. Even like you can ask my girl Supervillain, even though I don't do stuff like that, like, oh, ask this person about me. I really don't do that stuff. But if you even go on my page, I always talk about sisterhood and how a relationship is not a necessity. Being married is not a necessity. But I
Yes,
also
I can't
always
stand women who like literally try to shame you for being single. Like,
absolutely not. I can't stand that. Girl, I can't stand that with a passion either. And one of the things like I do talk about on my platform, and I'm gonna make it quick, is that if you choose to have a man in your life, it has to be advantageous to you, and that man basically has to serve you. If I'm gonna be completely honest,
100% facts. I
you
can't I
know.
can't even fathom the fact that there are girls out here that are having babies or laying down for men that haven't even taken them out. There are women out here that are having babies for men that ain't even take them out to eat. Yes, it's real, y'all. I was like, oh no.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
All right.
you
T, I'm
know,
gonna let you wrap it up and then I'm gonna go to
right,
supervillain. Go ahead, T.
right, right, and yeah, that's basically all I was gonna say. And one of the things that I think we should touch on, that there are women out here that do want to have children, even though we cannot convince them not to. They want to have children, because I'm in full support of those women too, going like to the sperm bank. They want
Yeah, but if you
to.
can't afford them and
No,
like
that's
you're not
different.
making good
Like you said,
decisions on a
if you
parent.
can afford them, that's a
I think we gotta stop policing. I think we gotta stop policing black women in any way. Like we don't want men to police us. We don't want people to police us. There's no reason why we should be going to now we're gonna go within the sisterhood and then we're gonna have black women policing other black women and policing their wombs and their vaginas. Like if like T
exactly.
was saying, I don't see anything wrong with if you want to be a mother and you go to the sperm bank and you get impregnated. I don't see anything wrong with that. I do see something wrong with carrying a baby for a man that is worthless and no good and is not going to add any type of joy or benefit to your life. Absolutely don't do that. But if you want to be a mother, why not? Like we can't run people's pockets. There are plenty of women that can afford a child and can take care of a child the way they need to be. So I'm not here to police women's
And
wombs.
it's
I
like
think
what
that's
you
crazy.
said, and it's also, if I'm gonna be honest and be respectful, that's also a contradiction.
Oh yes.
Women
Oh, I'm
within
sorry, T.
community. No,
I'm
no,
sorry,
you
T. I
good,
just
you
want to
good.
I just want to address what Chrissy Baby said as well. And also there are plenty of children in the system. So if a woman wants to be a mother, she can also adopt some children as well. But I think Supervillain said her battery's about to die, so we gotta let
Oh, go ahead, go
Supervillain
ahead.
speak. Go ahead, Supervillain. Then we gotta wrap this up, y'all, because I gotta go. Go
I'm
ahead, Supervillain.
sorry. I hate to rush my queens. I love to be in a room where I'm not the smartest woman, so I love appreciate it. I just wanted to end by doing my thing. I just want black women to know that they are loved. Black women, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a human being like everyone else. Don't let anyone gaslight you for your feelings. You have these feelings because you are a human being and you have a right to maintain your humanity. I want to say the only sin black women have committed in a world where tea, sorry, I'll read the text, where white tea proximity is currency, is that we are the least farthest, or excuse me, the most farthest from being white tea. That is the only issue. That is our original sin because we are the farthest proximity from being white tea in a world where white tea-ness is currency. There's nothing wrong with you, black women, in each and every form that you come in. And I want black women to know they are loved in each and every form. Stop letting people gaslight you. And to what was just said, a huge part of like having babies for men, this, that, and third, however you want to have a baby, I personally used my baby daddy for his DNA purposes and ghosted him because my mothership has nothing to do, or me being a mother has nothing to do with him. We have to start looking at nature. We love to shame single moms, but in nature, uh, the females take their baby and they do community with other females. The male is insignificant, and because we keep making males so important, we keep saying don't make descend to men, don't make men the center of our life, and then judge each other if there's a male in our life. We are being redundant. What message are we saying? You either want a male to be important if you don't. And by the way, if you do, that's not a problem. If you don't, that's not a problem. But we have to be careful what we're saying. We're going to judge a woman because she doesn't have proximity to a male, and then 2 seconds later tell her to descend to men. Let's understand what we're saying here. Trig, thank you so much. Your platform, as usual, y'all. Get her to the likes that she deserves. She created a safe space for us, and I want Black women to know that they are loved, and I'm unapologetic about loving Black women. Y'all have a great day. I yield.
All right, all right. Thank you, Supervillain. I just wanted to say thanks to all the beautiful Black women that came on the live today and gave me y'all perspectives and gave me y'all, experiences, and just, gave other game to other Black women and stuff like that. I just really appreciate it. And I will probably keep talking about this because I don't think there's enough people talking about Black femicide. Like if you guys look at the prompt, the picture that I changed it to, younger Black women ages 18 to 34 years old are at the greatest risk. They are 7 times more likely to be pew-pewed and unalived by an intimate partner than white T women in the same age group. And if you notice, that is 7 times more likely. And like I said earlier, Black women make up 10% of the female population, yet 59 to 60% of all unalivings of women. And these stats are ridiculous. These stats are scary. These stats prove what Black women have been gaslit about all of the time, which is there is a lack of respect. There is degradation. There is a smear campaign going on against Black women, so much so that people feel like they don't have to even look at us as human beings, that it's so easy to take our lives. I don't know if there's another stat that people don't know, but Black women are the largest percentage of women to be raped and taken advantage of sexually by police officers. They have the biggest SA cases amongst police officers when police officers are arresting them or supposedly trying to come around and help or whatever. They are SA'd a lot. And there's so many other different stats. Even when it comes to the hate crimes like that are perpetrated against Black women by white T men. It's a whole lot of stats, and all the stats where it comes to the abuse and disrespect and harm that comes to women, Black women top the list. And, so you've got to protect yourself. You got to watch out. You got to arm yourself. You got to do all of these things and keep your head on a swivel, because so many people want to gaslight you and tell you, oh, that's not true. Oh, Black woman, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. It's not a big deal. Nobody's really doing it. Nobody's doing it. Black men, you know how many Black men just came on this live and have been on many other live panels?
Oh no. Well, let's talk about who's abusing Black men. Or no, it's not that big a deal. We're not really
doing that. But the stats prove that there's an issue. And nobody cares that there's an issue. But I care, and I'm going to talk about it every day. And hopefully I can get other Black women, which I already have, plenty of intelligent, smart, beautiful Black women that come on these lives that are educated as well, that talk about the same problem. So I just want y'all to know that we got to be more intentional, and we got to protect ourselves, because men are out there attempting to prey on Black women. And also, yes, like Supervillain said in the comments, African women and girls are the most trafficked in the world. That is true as well. That is true as well. And even if we want to talk about it from the United States, Black girls are the most ex-trafficked. And I think we already know who's ex-trafficking them the most of the time is Black men. And that's the truth as well. They've done so many studies on this and asked, why do people traffic Black girls? Because they perceive that they won't get in as much trouble. So there's a problem, and we got to speak out about it, and we got to talk about practical ways and solutions to prevent this from happening. So I just want to say that, you guys, and the next time, maybe we'll go speak on all of this, but then we'll also add more solution-based things in there as well. Lashana, who said that it's indigenous girls, it's not. It's not. By the numbers, it's Black girls. And like even comments like that, disgusting. I mean, why would you, who are we talking about? Like, are you indigenous? You look to be a Black woman. So it's like, I think that we also got to unpack this idea that Black women can't even create a space to where they're centering each other, and it's not. It's not. But anybody, y'all fact check me. All right. I'm not spreading misinformation. Black girls are the most sex trafficked demographic here in the United States. Like, I really want to block you, and I probably will, but I just want to say that what's this person's name? Lashana is completely wrong. All right. It's black women. Thank you. I mean, it's just like I have no idea what's wrong with her. Like, there are so many there's so many numbers on this that I can't even believe that she was saying Google is free for you. Google is free for you, but you got to be an agent of chaos or something that somebody sent to be like this. So let me go ahead and just block you. Anybody else, y'all can check it out. But I'm going to block Lashana, and I'm actually going to screenshot her so that I can block her from all my other pages. So I'll screenshot Lashana so I never see her again, because I'm not with that at all. So I don't know. I don't know. But she's gone. I'll be right back, you guys, to get y'all something. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, you guys. Sorry, I had to go and get the stat, because I just feel like when you're faced with somebody that is a liar, it's just best for you to just disprove them with facts. So as you can see right here, it says victims, and this was a quick Google search. Like, there are so many articles that deep dive into this. So she just wanted to be contrary, and like, black women and certain black women and the self-hatred that they have is got to be studied. And yes, I don't know why she made it a competition, but I'll tell you the reason why she made it a competition: because she wanted to minimize the way it looked towards black women and black girls. She wanted to make it like it wasn't a big deal. But let me just read this to y'all. It says victims. The fact is, black women and girls are more vulnerable to sex trafficking than other races. Boom. Here's another one. Snapshot on the state of black women and girls sex trafficking in the U.S. Compared to their racial counterparts, black girls are more likely to be trafficked at a younger age. I don't know why she would say that. I have no idea, when it's easily able to be checked. Like, I don't know why she said it. I don't even know why she had such a nasty attitude. Like, if you notice, when I said what I said to her, she was very aggressive in the comments. So it's like, why in the world would you get aggressive with me when I'm trying to speak up about somebody that looks like you? But honestly, I really do believe that a lot of times it's because there are some black women that internalize all of the hatred and vitriol that is directed towards us, and they can't handle it, so they direct it towards other black women. They internalize it, live with it, and then give it out to other black women. It's really strange. Like I said, I don't get it. But like I said, the only reason why I went to get the numbers is because I don't get it. But like I said, the only reason why I went to get the numbers is because I am a very educated person. And I look up stats and look up what's going on every single day. I live and breathe black women. Perfect, and that I won't make a mistake. But I am very aware of the stats that affect black women. Black women negatively. And ain't nobody ever gonna come in my face and play in it. Like, period. Like, you trying to let me block some people. It's skipping because it's blocking. Because somebody's reporting me. Hold on. Is this skipping anymore, y'all? Is this skipping anymore, y'all? Is this skipping anymore? Because I went through and blocked some people. Is it still skipping? Y'all let me know if it's still skipping. It's really crazy. Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? It's really disgusting. Like, okay, so y'all can hear me. Great, great, great. And it's still skipping. Let me see. Let me see if I can block some more people. But it's crazy that me speaking about black women is triggering to some people. Disgraceful. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I just want to say that I love you, black woman. I love all of you. You have power. You can protect yourself. And we need to build a sisterhood in the community where we can not only protect ourselves, but help protect each other. And that's it. I blocked some people. And like I said, I don't know what was up with that lady that was in here. That was strange. That was very, 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 very strange. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for coming up. Appreciate you, Cookie, Proud Black Woman, T Scorpio, Supervillain, Coach T, Tanitra, Miss Chrissy Baby, Poetic Aesthetic, G, Tanitra, Miss Chrissy Baby, Poetic Aesthetic, Jess, like, so Caramel Mermaid. So many of y'all come in, Cookie. So many of y'all are always here, and I appreciate y'all. All right, I'll see y'all later. Since it's